hide.
Hello, and welcome to the Saladcast on Monday, the 25th of May, 2026. I'm your host, Dan Train. Joining me today, Zachary Burgess.
On the hottest day of the year, great.
And Robert Kemp.
Is it the hottest? I'd like.
That's what they
Hottest
say.
so far.
Yeah, hottest
Okay.
so far, obviously.
Because
It's the hottest ever in the month of May, apparently.
Oh, really?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
I mean, my phone did claim close to record temperatures, but of course the phone who knows what data that's pulling from, so it probably actually is.
I mean, what has it gone up to? Because it feels like pretty.
Like 31 or something.
Oh, jeez.
As I was walking down here.
How hot do we get during Wimbledon time? Because that's normally when I
that'll be hotter.
yeah, that's when I associate the hottest days of the year. But this feels pretty close.
Yeah.
It says it's 33 here. 34 tomorrow. Whoa. Yeah. I always thought that May can get very hot because it's the time when you do exams. So it has to be the nicest possible weather then. When you're stuck inside studying and...
I don't know if I ever did one of my major exams on a rainy day.
No.
Not that I remember, anyway.
I think maybe there was one time where it was a thunderstorm, because obviously summer thunderstorms.
Yeah, I think I remember that. Being in the exam hall with thunder and lightning.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that ever happened to us. I remember having a physics lesson when lightning struck the school. That was fun. It's the appropriate lesson to be in.
Yeah, appropriate lesson. Yeah, exactly. Or maybe you're in classics. That would have been appropriate too.
Yeah, Zeus has just turned up.
Yeah.
Right, mate. It's no, you've got that slightly wrong. I just wanted to set the record straight.
You did more because we briefly went to a posher school and did Latin and classics.
Classics, yeah.
But you actually went on to do Latin GCSE, but I didn't do any more classics, did we?
I mean, the option was
available?
there. Yeah.
Oh, it was a GCSE, was it?
Yeah,
I guess it must have been. Yeah,
you could have done GCSE classics at Ipswich School.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
I did go on and do Latin. Got a B. Shit, yeah. Can't remember any of it.
Yeah.
I can't remember a great deal of it anymore, apart from Canis est in hortem.
Coquilius est in horto, yeah.
Coquiliam multam pecuniam debeo.
Pretty good. And Grumio in the slave girl. Yeah. But classics, I think now I would be much more interested in. It's probably might have been more interesting than history, maybe, as a GCSE. I know my history GCSE syllabus was terrible. I still am angry about how bad it was.
I'm trying to remember why, because I think I had to do classics a little bit pre-GCSE, right? There was a lesson specifically for it, right? In year 7 and 8 or something like that. But I can't remember why I can't remember exactly why I hated it, because I went on to do history.
Yeah.
Because I guess you have to, right? I don't know if I had a choice to drop history as a thing. I can't really
Probably
remember.
Not. Might be a core one, I guess.
Yeah, for
no,
GCSE.
I must have had some kind of choice.
I don't think in GCSE,
maybe
history is one of them.
I don't really know, but why would I do that over classics when I could have some smiting and some incest and
right, exactly.
The dramatic, ridiculous stuff. I just don't think the classics we ever got taught maybe as
were the cool ones.
Yeah, where the cool was the ridiculous stuff. Maybe it was actually too historically focused rather than
based or something.
Yeah.
I don't really remember it because we definitely did a year of it or something as one.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, but I don't remember what we learned about in classics.
No.
I remember being hot one day and it being shirt sleeve order, where it's take off your blazer, take off your tie. Yeah.
Yeah. It was they were in the old parts of the school, and I think they tended to be on the sunny walls.
Yeah,
the ones that got a heat order, and it had the tiniest windows.
Yeah, teeny tiny windows. Yeah, because classics is that's the trajectory, isn't it? It's for posh people, it's establishment people, right? You do classics and then you study it at Oxford and then you become Mayor of London and then Prime Minister and then there's a pandemic, right? That's the trajectory if you're Boris Johnson.
And then you learn ChatGPT. GPT? Have you used ChatGPT?
GPT. Exactly.
I love GPT.
Anyway, or you go to a normal state school, you don't even have the option to become Prime Minister.
It's all wiffle waffle.
Yeah. Absolute wiffle waffle.
Absolute wiffle waffle. How did we get here so fast?
Because it was hot, and that's it.
Because it was hot, yeah. Heat ruins everything. And now, for some reason, I've got the intro to like the Baja tracks from Dirt 2 in my head. Because this is a podcast about video games. So always like almost every time you went to the Baja tracks on Dirt 2, it was like, welcome to Baja, where it's hot and the sand gets everywhere. So it's like, great, thanks.
Like, I've probably said this before, but like when it's like really, and this is only the first few days of like nice weather, and I'll probably go back to normal or whatever. But when it's like nice,
I hope so,
for a while or whatever. No, I say nice as in hot or whatever. And people go on, abroad to get consistent sunny hotness, right? When they can't get it at home or whatever.
It's a different heat,
usually,
man.
And in Britain, it's like, because it's a northern latitude or whatever, the days are hot and sunny and long.
Mm.
And it's like, what are you supposed to do after like 2 hours in the sun? It's like, you've got another 6 hours. Like, what? And it's like, get outside. And it's like, cool, but
I'm going to burn.
I'm going to burn, and also
not achieve anything with my day, and then
no,
and then not really feel good about it.
No, not really. And what is it that people? I guess people, they sit and read a book or something all day.
I think
but then you're gonna burn to a crisp, aren't you? Or
don't sit in the sun.
Shade.
Yeah,
you sit in the shade, read a book.
You enjoy you enjoy the sun around your person, just not on your person. I guess.
But like, if you get absorbed in a book for like hours,
aren't you not looking at the sun that's around you?
Aren't you not? Yeah,
you're not enjoying your location.
I mean,
maybe you are. I don't know. I don't really get it.
No, I don't.
Well, I mean, it's like whenever those rare times where I've tried to go outside with like the Switch or whatever. But unfortunately, that works much less good than the book, because even modern, like, good screens are still impossible to see when it's in the sun.
And I mean, what you need is the original GBA, right? With its reflective
Except
screen.
not really.
This is like the ideal weather for the original GBA, right?
Yeah, but not really, though, because you still have to have it at such a precise angle, even with actual sunlight.
Yeah.
And also then you have to be in the sunlight.
Yeah, so it reflects off the screen, but not off you don't get the actual...
Screen protector.
Yeah, you don't actually get the actual reflection. Those things are tricky.
Like, that's why you read a book and not a tablet, because it's even with modern technology, they still haven't actually solved that problem.
Well, I guess you could use
Kindle e-readers are quite good.
Yeah,
you can read those in the sun.
Yeah,
and they have the advantage of like the modern ones are like waterproof or whatever, so you can drop them in the
pool
or whatever and don't ruin them. Or
proper e-ink
unlike
devices. Yeah, proper e-ink devices seem well suited to a holiday, because then you don't have to take a book with you, which takes up your precious luggage weight. But
I don't think a book probably weighs that much more than a Kindle, depending on the size of the book.
Depends how many books you can get.
Well, that's the thing.
Yeah.
You can carry a lot more books in a single Kindle than in your luggage.
Yeah, but you also wouldn't be taking multiple books with you in your luggage anyway.
I also wouldn't.
Depends how long you have to spend in the sun, doesn't it? There's nothing else to do all day. You're going to get through them, aren't you?
I do think, like, when you go to it, like, when you know you're going to somewhere hot, and it's going to be hot, like I find myself in a slightly different mind space when I'm on the rare time I'm on holiday and I do go somewhere that's a little bit toasty. I mean, I'm not actively going out to the hot places. I'm not seeking a holiday in Corsica, for instance,
which a lot of people do.
Yeah,
right?
it's not really my thing because of how much I dislike the heat. But you do kind of get into a I don't care state to a certain degree. And you just sort of deal with it somehow. I think it's just like, well, I'm here. I'm going to enjoy this thing I've spent my money on, and thus. But when it's like at home, like that's a much harder thing to just do. I don't want to sweat through my clothes in 5 seconds. That's not pleasant. Yeah.
Anyway, everything in moderation.
Everything in moderation. I'm British for a reason.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
I'm British. Oh, boy. And if you don't go on holiday, you get to be home for unsanctioned plumbing shenanigans.
Plumbing of needed market.
House grouse time. Yeah. So this was fun last night. I was up downstairs, obviously, playing video games, while Gnome was upstairs and Marzi was taking a bath. Apparently, the sink tap just sort of kind of exploded on its own.
What, in the kitchen or
in the main bathroom?
In the bath.
Yeah.
Right.
So next to the bath that Milesy was in, like not even like the taps that had recently been turned. Let's put it that way.
So the tap in the bathroom, right, with the bath in, right. I have to say that one, I know your house, and that does seem in danger of exploding.
Well, yeah, pretty much all of the faucets in this house kind of suck.
Yeah.
That is a given. But like, yeah, I don't know. That seemed like to me, that seemed like almost that, like it moved a fair bit, but it functioned. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
It wasn't leaky in any way. It seemed to actually work as a tap, like unlike the one in the downstairs loo, right, which is consistently leaky, but out the top conveniently, not anywhere dramatic. But yeah, that one kind of just on its own just went bang, and like water gushing everywhere, like proper flooding the place kind of scenario.
Oh, you got good water pressure. That's good.
Which freaked Milesy the hell out. In the bath, he was not particularly happy with the scenario, and and here's me just hearing it from afar, going, "I'll get the stopcock."
Yeah.
And then having to, like, because it's in an awkward place in our kitchen, like having to rip all the pots and pans out of the cupboard, in which like just chucking them everywhere, like to get to this like incredibly stiff tap.
Yeah.
To like there was, and even then don't think I got it fully closed, but it was enough to
stem the tide.
stop the problem. Because we then worked out that's like, well, if you leave the tap on, it doesn't leak out the bottom, so just turn it on. It'll be all right. So that's kind of what this morning has been about, getting a very friendly neighbour to come and sort that out for us, which he has done.
A neighbour.
Yeah, but it did mean
nice.
Spending like there's not a lot worse really than like knowing you're going to have to spend a night without water in your house.
No, it's really, you don't even think about it, but it's really annoying.
Well, yeah, when it happens, you're just like, oh god, what do we do? Like, so conveniently,
you do just go and get tons of bottled water. There's the only thing. But
it's a bank holiday in this country, so like my immediate thought was like, it's fine, I'll go to Tesco's. It's like, crap, no, I can't. It's
the
actually
worst day possible.
It's actually not open right now. Even the 24-hour places, they're not open, and it's like, oh, that's a problem. Like, I could probably have found, like, driven around and found a gas station that was still open, but
just hold a pan upside down over the leaky tap and turn it back on for a second.
Essentially, that's what we did. And conveniently, I still had some water in a bottle I had filled, like in several bottles actually, I'd filled up because we were out during the day and didn't get round to drinking. So I had a thermos full of water, so that was all right. Yeah. And then we were just thinking, it's like, what else have we got? Well, we've got Coke, we've got beer. We're okay for beer. We'll get by. And then it dawns on you that the hydration isn't actually the biggest problem. It's the facilities.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're like, well, okay, I can go for a bush wee, bluey style. That's fine.
I mean, you have two toilets and 3 people, so that's only 1.5 poops per toilet.
Well, I guess each one has a flush in it, right?
Yeah, that'll last at least 2 days.
but it's all good now, so I needn't have worried too much. But it's just like I kind of know what I'm like more than anything. If I get like ill in any way at random, it's normally not a gradual process. It's like I gotta go now.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just you start overthinking it, and even if you're on a let's say you're on a good day, you still overthink it and think, but what if? And also just like. Yeah, it's just the randomness of it, right? That we just happened to be home. We just happened to be in the same room as a tap randomly exploding.
Right, it could have been at any moment. Anyway, could have been literally the bath was happening.
Yeah, it could have been so much worse.
Right, you could have been watching Eurovision or some shit.
Right, yeah. I could have. Oh, good segue. Yeah, I could have not been in the county.
I mean, in all likelihood, even though you were literally using that tap, the recently occurring bath happening probably did influence it in some way.
Possibly, yeah. Like it probably. I had a shower recently as well, so there was pressure on the system, I guess, around.
Yeah, and like pressure changes in the room as well.
Yeah, possibly. Could have been all connected. You never know, but who knows? It's like we were telling our neighbour, plumber neighbour, about because he was just like you get. We ask him for help fairly frequently for stuff like this because neither Noam and I are have a good track record with plumbing. Let's put it that way. It's Noam in particular has attempted things. I haven't really attempted. I know plumbing kind of scares me, but Noam was a bit fearless with it for a while, so tried a few things and they went pretty badly wrong. So she's now got the fear in it, so we don't really try it. And so he tells us, it's like, oh, you could have done this. And I'm like, no, I don't think I could have done. It's like, he's like, no, it's dead easy. You just need one of these and one of these and one of these. And I'm like, I don't know what any of those things you just said are. And it's like, yeah, I guess that's the problem. Like it's not necessarily the doing. It's the,
to be fair,
it's the knowing what you need.
I did have some success. The minor plumbing that I've had to do recently, I did end up getting a plumber, but like genuinely using my phone, taking pictures and sending it to whatever, Claude. I use Claude.
Oh, yeah.
The same thing. It was like, it was getting things wrong, but if you know, you know how to use these things, then you know how to detect when it's probably hallucinating or when it's like not quite right.
That's
but it managed to figure out quite a lot that really I actually had a problem that I had to like fix, because it was just constantly draining. So what happened was I was having problems with so my toilet it's a modern flat and it's what they call it, concealed cistern.
Oh, right.
So the cistern itself is like inside the kind of wall kind of thing, or it's inside it's not actually a wall. It's like a sort of, I don't know, plinth thing.
Cupboard.
Yeah, fake cupboard thing. Yeah, with no doors in it or whatever.
Right.
And it just has this like plate on top with the two buttons, the flush and the kind of eco flush.
Right. Yeah. My ensuite's a bit like that, right? The plinth is like that, and you have to take the whole plinth, the top of the whole plinth off,
exactly,
and then
to get at it. Yeah,
and then it's in there somewhere.
So I already had a problem once before where the plate itself, which is just plastic, and like when you push down on the buttons, they obviously they have a little hinge in them, but it's literally just flexing plastic,
right?
Which is really bad, and it snapped obviously after being used multiple times, and it's literally just plastic. But so I had to figure out how to replace that plate with and it cost like 80 quid or something. It's just plastic, stupid thing.
Wow.
Anyway, but. I know they're really bad. They're really expensive. So I'd already replaced that, but at least I knew how to take that plate off. But then you can see inside, and it's quite a small hole. But like apparently you can service the whole thing like through that tiny hole, which is basically. So I needed to figure out how the little plungers were going down and were actually connecting to the mechanism to stop it. And one day I came home and I flushed it, and it just continually, drained.
Yeah, it just keeps
draining
running
forever. Exactly.
But then
I had to like.
But then if you can take it apart enough, you can usually just like prop up whatever the ballcock valve is called. But
exactly. But it was all through this small opening, and I was like using the sending pictures to the AI, trying to figure out how to dismantle enough of it to actually get to that.
Right.
And I managed to do it.
Interesting. So you can't just take the lid off, and it'll just be. Like once you've got into the plinth bit, there isn't just another.
No, there were like layers of there was another plastic plate halfway down that was kind of, I don't know how to describe it. And there was like a column in the middle of it.
Weird.
Like I could see where the actual water comes in through a pipe, a tube, basically flexible metal pipe tube thing was connected and everything. But anyway, I managed to get into it and to figure it out without breaking it, which was the main thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'd have managed to do that without it's like, oh, I recognize that. It could just about see the model number or whatever on the plate. Actually, yeah, there was a plate that had to be taken off that had like instructions on it, but they were so old or that they'd already like faded,
worn
so you
away.
couldn't read them and stuff, and it was like, oh, for fuck's sake. Anyway, but enough. And then I got someone to actually fix it.
Yeah.
But it
think-
was helpful. Like
These
I have
little
to say.
the other part is just like these little alcoves, these little bits that you hide away, right, to cover up plumbing stuff. They are well skank.
Right, exactly.
I just don't like even in this bathroom where there isn't much to it, right? Like there isn't not that much hidden in this, but like there's just a sink on a porcelain. Or maybe porcelain, might be metal. I'm not quite sure what it is, but like on a stand to hold it up and obviously keep it attached to the wall and stuff. But then behind that, there were extra bits of wood to complete the sort of enclosure.
Sure.
But so you couldn't really get at all the pipes without like, and they were just like sealed on. They weren't like easily removable. So you have to break all the seals and stuff to get these wood panels out that are clearly soaking at this point and have possibly soaked before, right? There's plenty of wood bits in my ensuite shower that are similar, right? There's wood in here, and this wood has clearly been damp for a long time. It's gross. And then you get behind it, and then it's like, oh, here's the grossness of the column that you never go in. It's just like,
Yeah.
And then you got to get stuck in there to actually do it. Yeah, no, it's not for me. It's not for me.
No.
Get someone to do it. Who knows what they're doing? I know.
Exactly.
First world problems and all that, but
Well, you've solved the problem at the source, which is have
Turn
a
it off.
friendly neighbour.
well, yeah,
No,
that
have a plumber.
and that, yeah,
You don't have to like pay through the nose.
it is extraordinarily helpful. Yeah, because he'll go and get the parts and stuff, but he can get it on trade as well, which is nice.
Exactly.
So
Yeah, I did need parts, so that's why I needed a plumber because I needed parts. And
Yeah.
stuff, and he knew what to order.
And we'll obviously nominally thank him and stuff for his help and stuff
Yeah.
like that, and I'll have to fix his laptop in a week's time. So
Well, that's fine.
that's how this
Fair
goes.
enough, Yeah. I mean, with the rate Windows is going, it's probably easier to fix the plumbing.
Probably. Yeah. So that Eurovision, huh? Slightly less waterfalls going on. Slightly fewer. There was no like on-stage rain. I'm sure that's happened in previous years, right? They've had on-stage rain in some of them.
Yeah, there was some fire
What about a
effects,
rain of
but-
sparks?
I don't know if there was. Yeah, there was no like spark curtain. There was no like finale from Jet Li's The One going on.
No.
Yeah, it was. I don't know. I don't know how like a week on from it. I'm not sure how I feel about it in total. Like the songs that have like stuck with me are not the ones I thought would stick with me. Like weirdly, the UK entry is the one that is annoyingly rattling around my brain more often than anything else. Not because it's good. It's like
No, that did nothing for me. I was disappointed because I.
this is what I mean. Like,
I'm sure I've seen some of his stuff on YouTube that was good.
I have absolutely no beef with Look Mum No Computer. He's a pretty fun guy, pretty good art. I mean, I'm not super into the music he puts out as music on services and stuff like that, but as a YouTuber and as a performer, he's pretty entertaining. But it wasn't a great song. It was one of those songs that leans into like, oi oi, we're British, sod ya, like a little bit.
Yes,
It's like
did, yeah.
it's just a little too much. Like, you know, how do you endear yourself to a suite of countries who generally don't like you? Let's walk up and just go, oi oi, we're Brits, we love it, hey. It's just like, okay, I kind of get the attitudes, like sort of the sod ya Eurovision kind of element to that is kind of fun. But also, and then you throw some German in and talk about pizza, and that it'll cost you a pony to buy a pizza. Who says that? Who says a pizza costs you a pony? I don't know.
Cockneys, probably.
Cockneys, yeah.
Cockney. How much is a pony? Like 20 quid or
I
something?
don't even know. Something like that. Yeah, it's not. It's like lyrically, it's not a good song, but for some reason, that chorus is just like the tonality of it or something is just not leaving my head, which I guess is says something for it. It's catchy in its own way, whether in a irritating, get on your nerves kind of way. Get on your nerves. But like I was out for a run on Friday night. Yes, it was extremely hot, and it was a bit of a mistake probably. But yeah, I had that going through my head for a lot of it. It's like I need a better motivational song to just sit in my head.
Yeah, I thought it had some better songs, but not as good staging.
Yeah, staging was quite
average.
boring this year, generally.
Yeah. I still think that the Israeli thing looked like Darth Vader's recovery chamber or whatever it is.
Right, yeah, the weird... I guess it was supposed to be like a diamond, I guess. But
I suppose.
a mirror diamond. Not baguette cut.
No.
Check out our Dwarf Fortress video when it eventually comes online to
happens.
Hear about baguette cut diamonds.
Probably not a diamond though. I forget
whatever
it
it
was.
was.
What we were looking at.
Yeah. Anyway, it was a fun night. I didn't do it. It looked like I was going to do supremely badly until Romania got public votes, and they got the goth vote. So
They did get the goth vote.
That put me into exactly middle position. So that was fine. I'm happy with that. Average.
Well, that's the game we played. But we should probably talk about the kind with video involved, I suppose. Although there's video involved in Eurovision, so I mean, hence the vision part, I suppose.
Well, it's the broadcast of video.
Yeah, it's not like music videos. That'd be a different tier of Eurovision contest. If they could make literal music videos.
Well, that was the COVID year, right?
Sure, kind of.
Because they didn't run the contest properly, but they just showed you the music videos of some of the entries.
But they're not like... They're still not, music videos, mostly.
Well, the music video kind of is a bit of a dead art
yes.
anyway. It's I have it turned on my Spotify, so if a song with a video is uploaded and stuff like that, it will play out there, and it's like there are some bands that still do it. Like Editors had a new single that was just, but it's mostly just bands playing is the thing. So like Editors' new one is just them in a basement wearing hoodies, with some lighting, which I guess is most music videos ever, right? But like,
well, kind of, yeah.
And then was it Muse's most recent single is again then just playing, but like surrounded by ice because it's called Cryogen, right? Let's let's do some icy stuff. I don't know if I've seen or spotted an interesting music video for a while. I can't remember the song, but there was one. It just looked like a guy just doing a very odd dance on his own in a completely deserted, like, Chinese square or something, like a temple. Kind of like the place where they fight in Mortal Kombat, that classic arena, but like with nobody there and just sort of doing weird leg dances through it. I can't remember what that song was called. But that caught my eye a little bit. It was kind of weird. Music videos aren't fun anymore. Oh, and then
where do you even see them? Like on YouTube, I guess people premiere them.
I mean, Vivo is still a thing, isn't it, on YouTube?
Yeah.
But they're starting to add them to like Spotify and stuff, right?
That's what I mean. Yeah, this is why I've been seeing them. Like, because as I say, I've just got video mode turned on Spotify, so they just they pop up in your like where the album art would normally be.
Yeah,
on the Windows player anyway.
I don't know. I don't know why YouTube hasn't, become the new kind of MTV stream. That never really happened, right? You have those.
I mean, they have. Wasn't there a specific? Wasn't there? Is YouTube Music still a specific tier that you can buy into?
But I think that's like a Spotify competitor, right?
Yeah.
Although, I don't know. But you get. I don't know.
I
feel like you need like channels, like a radio station. That's what MTV was, right? It was like a radio station with videos, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Kind of.
Well, I mean, you can kind of do that on YouTube, but I guess they never really leaned into it. Like, you still, if you're scrolling YouTube homepage, it will still constantly serve you mixes, which are like meant to be the music in a playlist. The music of YouTube.
Yeah.
Those are weird, aren't they?
But
it's one of the few things that where my name comes up quite a lot. It suggests my own music to me.
Yeah, and I get your music very occasionally.
Hey.
I mean, there's probably not as much of your music on YouTube as there is on Spotify.
No, actually, I think there's still more on YouTube technically because of links through OC Remix. I think I've got more OC Remix tracks on there than I've officially released.
But yeah, those mixers are still useless anyway because they're just like they don't actually. There's like it might as well just be random in some cases, or they're not random enough. It's either like you get like 3 tracks that make sense and then it just goes completely insane because the like algorithm just spreads out too far, or they're just like literally everything is the exact same. It's like it's just a game OST or something because it's just the same tracks from the same thing,
but in a random order.
Yeah,
not that it really matters. I mean, game OST, but yeah.
I mean, I'll definitely give Spotify the credit here. They're automatic mixers and they're equivalent. You know, I live by the release radar and discovery lists. I think they're basically what I mostly listen to on Spotify. But they are great. They're really good.
I expect maybe it's better if you go to like YouTube and click on the music category or whatever. But who the fuck ever uses the categories of YouTube?
Right? Yeah.
Even if you're like me and you only ever watch stuff related to video games, it's not like I click on the video game category to do that. It's just my default homepage.
It's funny, I'm going on YouTube, which I use all the time. I just clicked on the music and it's like, it has no idea what music I like, evidently.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think I've ever done that. I guess it would base my my choices off of maybe some music tutorials and stuff I've looked at for how to...
your YouTube does seem to have music, more music-related stuff, if not actual music.
Sure, yeah. Like synth channels and, guides to doing certain mix tricks and things like that. But I don't really listen... Or Todd in the Shadows. Shout out Todd in the Shadows.
Todd in the Shadows. You'd think it would know more just from me watching, I don't know. Yeah, I'm sure it should know that I like the White Stripes and stuff. It's not even trying.
Well, but that's the thing about those category homepages is like, do those even get algorithms on them?
Yeah, maybe not.
Because it might be like the real homepages where you're just like, this is what normal people who don't use YouTube see.
Yeah. Well, do they get algorithmed, but by popularity, not by you?
Yeah.
Right. Possibly. Which is also sometimes interesting, right? Like, can you serve me that page, please? Like,
I don't think we mentioned it on the podcast. I think I mentioned it to Rob, but like, that just reminded me that like it was a really shit move of YouTube to make it so you can't sort searches by time any longer.
Oh right, yeah, we did.
You can't when you do a search, you can't sort it by most recent, and that's kind of an asshole move of YouTube, really, to be like, we don't want people to discover new creators who don't have any views. We only want people to watch the stuff that has views.
But then I've stumbled. Maybe this is a web trend in general, but I've stumbled on an increasing number of places where the sort is fuzzy like that. Like eBay in particular, right? If you tell it to sort by something, it doesn't. It gets it kinda right. Like it would, like say you do lowest price first or something on a particular search, which is how I like to browse PlayStation 1 games. Like what's the cheapest thing someone's trying to sell right now? Does it interest me? It's kinda right. You know what I mean? It starts low, but not like it's not like that you think the numbers, which are possibly the easiest thing for a computer to sort, seem to be in the right order.
I mean, on eBay, maybe it depends on like whether that's the current bid or whatever, or whether it was what it was set at originally.
Yeah, I guess it depends when it cached the search, like if it had or how it caches the search. But it's a bit fuzzy, and it's not just eBay. Like I've spotted that in a few places where search just seems a bit. Oh, and don't even get me started on Windows 11's like press Windows and start typing search. Like it can barely find anything on my goddamn PC.
Yeah,
like,
I've had some weird cases with that where it's just like. I'm not even using the Windows key. I'm literally in a folder using the search bar, and it still can't find any of the files in that folder that are literally named the thing I'm typing. It's like, what are you doing with those?
It is unbelievable.
I think it's gotten so bad that they've actually had to respond and say that they're going to fix Windows search. I mean, they will.
Well, they've kind of just outright admitted that Windows 11 kind of sucks.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
It's which is amazing. Yeah, it's it's an amazing thing for them to have to say. Because I'm not even sure they like messaged Windows 8 the same way, right? When that was a bit of a disaster. Like, not that I had necessarily a huge problem with some of Windows 8's design philosophy. It was at least interesting. Like Windows 11 just doesn't work in places.
Maybe by the time Windows 8 was being, was being bad consistently. Well, I mean, by the time when it came out, as also that, but like maybe there just wasn't as many people using Windows 8, so they didn't have to care. Like Windows 11, they kind of forced everyone into.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe they didn't have to make the transition off of 7, right?
Maybe once enough people told them it was bad, they kind of realised it's like, let's maybe not continue worrying about Windows 8 and just start working on Windows 10 immediately quick.
I think the only places that you kind of had to have 8 were if you bought into like Surface, right? Because that was when Surface first came out. And
if only they'd known at the time, they would have made some kind of Windows Mobile OS or something. They wouldn't have called it Windows 8 and pretended that it was a desktop still.
Well, they tried to do that with Windows 8 Mobile.
Well, sure.
Yeah.
But Windows 8 practically was designed to be that anyway, with tiles and all that shit.
Yeah, it was.
I never mind. Like it, I find it quite nice going back to my work PC, which is still running Windows 10, and having the tiles in the start menu. It's nice. I like those. I can customize where they all are. I don't care about the live tile stuff. I just like the tile layout for like me putting my icons where I want them to be. It's nice.
Put them on the desktop.
Oh, I've got quite a messy desktop on my work PC, in fairness, but like generally, I don't like putting stuff on the desktop anymore. Give me a nice clean desktop.
I only put stuff on the desktop when I'm too lazy to save it into an actual folder.
Yeah,
that's the temporary dumping ground.
Well, because what happens is, like you're looking in here, what happens is I end up with random folders of stuff that I then forget what they're for. Like this folder.
Well, that's maybe a different problem.
Yeah, like this folder called scripts. That sounds kind of ominous.
Although I did make the mistake of foolishly obfuscating the messiness of my desktop at one point, because I used to just put any downloads and shit. I'd just be like, I'll just save it to the desktop and then I'll deal with it from there or whatever. So obviously that made a huge mess. And then once it started to get quite cluttered, I was like, well, this is a big mess, but I can't be bothered to clean it up right now. So what I'll do is I'll make a folder called desktop dump and then just put everything in there. So then there was just a folder on my desktop that contained all the shit that I had on my desktop, but it was still just an unorganized mess. It's just I couldn't see it any longer.
Yeah, I think I've done that before.
Like, that's a mistake.
It's kind of funny, though.
I mean, my dumping ground is in Mac OS is the downloads folder, right? That just and then I try and sometimes prune it and move things around.
But every time I use the Chrome downloads folder or whatever, you just forget that it's there.
Yeah.
You forget that there's a bunch of data there that you probably want to delete at some point to save space.
Does Chrome not just use the Windows downloads folder?
I think it might be a setting.
Oh, okay.
It has its own one, I'm sure.
In fairness, I've got you've set up a separate downloads folder in Chrome settings or something. Yeah, you can probably do that. But I've I've ended up because of me being kind of funny about hard drive space all the time, right? Like I end up putting download folders on other drives. So I end up with multiple downloads folders of stuff.
Also a problem.
Yeah. That's what a spinning platter disc is for. The stuff you don't care about, right? Like just an incredibly old spinning platter disc at that.
Then you got to spin up the hard drive every time you want to download something.
I mean, that is still legitimately a problem in Windows 11 in places of the UI, right? Because I still have spinning platter drives. Opening parts of Explorer, even if I don't intend to use that drive, still take a while because it waits for the drive to spin up before showing you anything.
Yeah. Well, that's why you just turn it to always on. Never spin it down. That's what I did with my last PC in the 15 years that was running.
I want these drives to live.
Well, I never had a problem.
It's bad for 15 years.
Yeah, my drives were on full for the whole time. It was fine.
I mean, in fairness, I think the spinning platter drive in this machine is now about 12 years old. So. And
that was always my completely unsubstantiated argument of surely the hard drives would last longer if they don't constantly spin up and down, because that puts less stress on the motor than constantly spinning.
I mean, arguably, yeah. I mean, that's one of the reasons I don't have my NAS on all the time. Well, I have the opposite feeling. If it's running all the time, surely that's the lifespan ticking down, right? So that's why I don't run my NAS all the time. I only run it when I'm actually backing stuff up.
It's just a completely unproven question. Well, I'm sure maybe someone's proven it, but an unproven question of which of those is more stressful.
Which is true, yeah. I wonder. That's a good question.
the same reason I prefer to leave my PC on all the time, because it's like boot up is like the most stress.
And do like the grades of drive you buy for things like NAS drives versus desktops. Does that matter? Right? Because like Seagate and stuff will sell you, this is the NAS spec drive, this is the desktop grade
is that
drive.
Just marketing?
Yeah, is it bollocks? Yeah. Probably is, yeah. I'm sure there are some tuning differences on the firmware of the device, maybe, right? That you could perhaps believe that's a thing. But maybe not. Maybe it's all garbage. And I suppose if you're running a NAS drive, you don't necessarily need fast drives. You could have slower spinning platters.
Essentially.
Yeah, so maybe that's part of it. Fun times. Fix Windows 11. I heard at one point that Windows 12 might be this year. Right?
Surely not.
Well, maybe for marketing reasons, just to be like, don't... Because apparently there is a trend of moving to Linux, which is insane. But,
yeah.
Well, because
I'm hearing more about it on YouTube.
I know, as you might expect in my circles, I know a guy who has done that. Like he just because he doesn't really use his Windows side of things for productivity. He used it for gaming, and he's moved to Linux running Proton,
right,
as his gaming solution,
right?
Which is what Steam Machine is. Yeah, and he's happy with it, which I find like that's kind of amazing. Well done, you.
But he can't play the same variety of games that you do if he's that happy with it. I mean, maybe, I don't know.
No, they don't play.
I mean, I bet I could get away with it with the types of games that I play.
Do you think?
Well, they're not graphically stressful.
Yeah, I mean,
you'd want to play some random old version of SimCity or something, like right out of the blue, wouldn't you?
Yeah, but that probably emulates pretty good through Proton.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, yeah, there are cases where like running old stuff, you're better off on Proton. Right, because Proton is emulating Windows. It's like it doesn't have to be Windows, so it actually does a better job in some cases.
I mean, like, I mean, I've never looked into that kind of stuff, like Linux or anything like that. But like,
it's not super difficult.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like I always think of it as being weird and awkward, but it's maybe not any longer. But on the other hand, I actually did install an alternate OS like a million years ago when it was still an extremely weird thing to do. And it wasn't even Linux. It was like a fully weird open source OS.
Was it? Oh.
That I dual booted into for a while.
It was like... That? Must have been Linux.
I don't think it was. It was like... It was trying to simulate Windows for a start. It was like a Windows interface. It still had a desktop and everything. And it was like, I don't even know what this is, but I don't even know why I did it at the time.
I mean, almost everything would be a Linux offshoot.
Well, probably.
Yeah, of some description. Just a distro.
But it was quite strange. I mean, it didn't... let's just say that making it work and having it run certainly didn't involve any like console shit. It was just like you just install it and it just goes.
I mean,
even at the time.
I mean, I say it's not that complicated. It's not that complicated for someone like me, and I'm frequently surprised sometimes about when I'm trying to do stuff on the Steam Deck, for instance, where it's just like, oh, that really wasn't that painful at all, but I'm a developer, so like I'm not a good yardstick for some of that stuff, and occasionally it is. Oh, I'm going to have to plump. I'm gonna have to put some DLLs in a folder.
You can't plump a DLL.
No, I can't plump it in there. I haven't chosen that DLL though.
It's not a touchscreen.
Plump it down there.
Yeah, you're gonna have to move a DLL to a place. You're gonna have to maybe make some changes to a config file or two to get some stuff working.
I think it's like a double whammy of like these things have got easier, but also you could just ask AI if it has some weird obscure error message.
Maybe
paste it in there.
Yeah, sometimes you can. And also, like for some of the bigger things you might want to do, like when I put the community edition or the community work of Outrun Coast to Coast, right? That thing. When I put that on the Steam Deck, that is a bit more involved because you've got to set up like wine and some things to put old DLLs so they inject into the right place, blah, blah, blah. That was a bit more involved to set up.
Yeah.
But the guide was right there. Like, the community had written the guide for how to do this on Steam Deck, and thus it wasn't that tough. You just have to follow it. and make sure.
I mean, I feel like
yeah.
Steam Deck makes it easier by having everyone on the exact same hardware or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's why the Steam Deck community has been as good as it
Yeah.
has been, because it's like everyone knows how like this will work for this specific Linux distro. That's half the
Yeah.
battle, right? Is like knowing what Linux distro you would potentially need, and also they're not. As far as I'm aware, Linux is still not particularly an NVIDIA happy place. Like going AMD is probably actually a better route. So if you're willing to give up like NVIDIA grade ray tracing and DLSS and stuff like that, then you're probably okay switching to Linux. But
is this still because Linus Torvalds flipped the bird at NVIDIA?
Oh, probably. Yeah, I think it is literally just driver support. NVIDIA don't really do the proper drivers for Linux. I believe I might be wrong on that. I can't remember, but I think the situation is like that because you've got people like Valve, and all the other big players. Don't forget the Xbox and stuff is all AMD based. Yes, that's not running stuff like that, but like there's a lot more third parties using AMD inside stuff in their products than there is NVIDIA inside products. So there is generally a bigger support for AMD stuff on Linux. So when SteamOS, I think you can. Is SteamOS actually fully released now? I can't remember. I think you can get hold of it and just put it on whatever device you want. So
like your own Steam machine.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm still waiting for news. I hope it comes out this year. It's got to come out this year.
It's got to come out this year.
Yeah.
They've supposedly shipped a bunch. So
of machines.
Yeah, there was some shipping manifests that people looked into that came from Valve and were described as game consoles that came into America and stuff. So apparently the hardware is around and floating. They're just not allowed to sell it yet.
Yeah, maybe they'll ship it literally next month, but it'll be impossible to get hold of for I don't know if I'll be able to get one by the end of the year.
I mean, it will be just like all the other Valve hardware, presumably, where there'll be a pre-order page and it will sell out immediately.
Yeah, like the controller, yeah.
But will it sell out immediately if it costs $1,000?
Good question.
I mean, the Steam Deck didn't struggle in that. I mean, that wasn't $1,000. But
I mean, when the Steam Deck launched, you might argue it was expensive for a handheld, but it wasn't unreasonably priced, really. Was it $300, $400, something like that for the original LCD model with the cheapest SKU? It's if you want the good the good Steam Deck, the OLED with lots of storage, it will cost you a lot more than that. But those original LCD models weren't crazy money. Yeah, I think they're going to have a slightly harder time, maybe, with Steam Machine. It is a slightly harder sell in general, I think, than the deck. But it'll be fine. They'll do fine. They could charge $1,000 for it and it will sell out immediately. That will just happen.
Yeah. News! What's going on in actual video games? The games that we play on these hardwares and operating systems.
These device imagigs. Well, one game you won't play is Sega's Super Game, which they have talked about this thing, but not in a public capacity, sort of in investor calls and things like that, and their trading presentations and things like that for a very long time at this point.
And as much as they did talk about it in public, or as much as people took out of those investor calls, everyone was very confused about what it even was.
Well, yeah. Well, because they've sort of... They always described it as this is going to be it's going to be a game as a service of some description. It's going to rope in everything that makes Sega what it is. So it's it's going to be full of IPs. It's going to be the game for all people, basically, was how they were bigging themselves up. Something that only we can do, and something that would be bigger and unseen and not like anything else you've seen before. They're not doing it. Whatever it was, they're not doing it. I mean, the closest thing anyone can think of for what it might be would be, hey, they wanted some of that Fortnite, yo. That's what they meant by a super game. They meant a Fortnite, and it's
I mean, just make a new Phantasy Star, I guess. Because
That's just an MMO.
yeah, but that did include a lot of random Sega IPs mashed into it for no reason.
I mean, our Sega IP contains a lot of Sega IP.
Well, to some extent, yeah, I guess.
It's not that uncommon. But also, like, Sega have engaged with some of these already. Like, I'm sure Sonic was Sonic in Fortnite? I want to say might have been. I'm not 100% certain on that, but I think Sega have been involved with Fortnite at some point.
Well, I think everyone's been involved in Fortnite at some point, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything.
And they've definitely been in Roblox. There's, like, official Sonic content in Roblox.
There's more shit in Fortnite than in Ready Player One.
Probably is at this point, yeah.
But that's not what they meant. It's like, if they were going to make a Fortnite ripoff, it was presumably they were going to try and make it like, you know, make the driving part like Crazy Taxi and make the fighting part like Phantasy Star and make the make running around like Sonic or something. Just try and make it like Sega stuff.
Yeah, I kind of, in my head, it's a bit like GTA, but what if every Sega game was happening in this world simultaneously?
Yeah.
Which is wild to feel like. How would you even represent that to the player?
Where you just do it the same way. Well, not exactly the same, but the same kind of the same way as the racing game. You just have like a sort of, not really a portal, but like just a wall where it's like, here's the Jet Set Radio half of the city, and here's the Sonic half of the city, and there's just a line down the middle where you transition.
I guess, yeah. I mean, like, surely the dream is the Ready Player One vision, right? Where you sort of, like, you could be doing something else whilst a Crazy Taxi, like, scenario is happening beside you on the streets or something, and players are just dicking about all over the place.
Sure.
And suddenly there's a fight breaking out because, obviously, Kiryu's there. And beating up Tails for some reason. Knuckles versus Kiryu. There we go. That's the fight we've been waiting for.
But, you know, if we talk about it like that, then you might as well say that it was obvious that Sega was never actually going to make this. Because these ideas are way too big for Sega.
This is the Star Citizen of Sega games.
Yes.
Like, it's too big an idea.
And Sega doesn't have $50 billion or whatever the fuck Star Citizen has.
No. They crossed the 1 billion of funding, didn't they, Mark?
I don't even remember at this point.
I just wonder about Nintendo. Like, what are they doing with Mario? Because it feels like they're telegraphing with a combination of Bowser's Fury and, like, I don't know, Mario Kart World, that they will do a giant open world Mario game, right?
Sure.
I don't know how long that'll take to cook. Could be.
I mean, probably quite a while,
years.
because they then, because was it the Odyssey team made Bonanza, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And that didn't end up being an open world.
No, exactly. So maybe that was like the tide you over, because that's kind of how it felt.
Yeah.
While they're doing the big one, that would be a Super Mario game.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, there's
Super Mario.
I think now that they've got like 2 Zelda games behind them, right? Like, there is probably in-house tech that they could use to pull this off. To at least pull off,
because Zelda probably needs a rest for a while, in my opinion. I don't think they're gonna outdo those two.
Outdoing them is a challenge. Like, what on earth do you do next with Zelda?
So that's why I think big open world Mario is the super game. That's what they need to do.
Yeah, but that's not really a super. That's not, by whatever Sega's definition of the super game is. That's not a super game.
Yeah, it's not a super.
That's just a game. It's just a big game.
I'm only saying a big Mario game.
Mm. But then,
and open world. I think they could do it. I think it's very hard to do. Because Mario is obviously a platformer with very tightly designed levels.
Yeah, I kind of don't think it's that hard. Like, okay, the world doesn't have to be massive, right? I just
mean harder than Zelda. But
yeah, I don't even know about that. Like, I don't think you need a map as big as Zelda to pull it off, right? Like, the zones in Mario could just be interconnected in interesting ways.
I mean, the way that's the laziest and not actually what we're talking about way to do it is just make a non-loading screen separated version of Galaxy where all the planets are just there and you just jump between them.
That would be the lazy thing to do. It would be to make Galaxy 3, right? And make it like
seamless.
All seamless. That would be the lazy thing. They might do that, and that could be good. But like, I think they'll do a full-blown land, like
Yeah, I sort of imagine like the desert land from Odyssey, right? But like it went sort of the edges of the desert going on forever, like they just blend into some other biome, and then that's where the next level just is. You're just on that level, like immediately.
But you have
and
to
with
make
some
it more
exceptions,
fun.
like because New Donk, even the intro to New Donk in Odyssey even has that electric zap line, right? Where you just you could be somewhere else, an electric zap line into this other area, and it's like there you go, problem solved. Like
That's true.
I don't know that you have to necessarily like have it as one continent per se. Like they could split up areas of interest where that makes sense. The bit that I don't want them to do is obviously like with Mario Kart World, they've kind of shown it's like, yeah, we've got the tech to do a big seamless open world, but they haven't shown any other than Zelda, right? It's like in Mario Kart World, they failed to put anything interesting in that world.
Exactly. Yeah, which is what they did very well in Breath of the Wild.
Absolutely.
Right? So
yeah.
I reckon they could do it for Mario, but I think it's a harder challenge. Actually,
it's got to be denser,
Zelda.
and that's what I mean. That's why I think Mario. If you were to do an open world Mario, it has to be dense but quite small. They need to look at the Yakuza games in how to do a dense environment.
Yeah.
It's not at all right. The Yakuza environment's not anywhere near big enough, but
that is certainly a Super Sega game.
It is a Super Sega game.
Anyway, slight diversion, but I'm like, they've got to be making that right.
They've got to be.
And it's just a question of, is it the lazy Galaxy way or is it the more ambitious way?
To a certain extent, I don't care. Like, give me another
Yeah,
Odyssey.
it'd be good either way.
Give me
That's
another
the thing.
Odyssey, I'll be happy. Like, Odyssey is such a good game that it's like...
Yeah.
And Bonanza, sort of proved that it's like, hey, that formula's still fine. I don't have a problem with this. Like,
They should just do a. This doesn't make any sense. They should just do a essentially a full game DLC for Mario Kart World where you can just get out of the cart and then they just put the Mario stuff into the Mario Kart World world.
Mario Kart World, yeah. Super Mario World Kart.
So you have the driving and you have them on foot all in one place.
Star Fox on foot.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Mario Armada. Yeah, they could do that. Anyway, Super Game is dead. I mean, Sega, like in their recent investor calls, have said that they're still like
making all those other games.
Yeah,
they're meant to be making.
They still really want to like Shinobi obviously did well for them. You know, it's smaller scale project for sure, but Shinobi is considered a bit of a banger. So like this resurrection of Sega IPs, that we haven't seen for a long time, like Jet Set Radio, like Crazy Taxi, they're still on that tip, which is nice. I want some of that like late 90s, early 2000s Sega vibe in my life. If that's what they get, if that's what they continue to go for, I'm a happy man.
I don't know if it counts as being on that tip when they haven't actually released any of those yet.
I mean, Shinobi's the only one.
That doesn't. You can't make a trend out of one data point.
Yeah. It's the only one I can think of, anyway. I have a suspicion there was another, but maybe that hasn't come out yet. Because they're still saying they might do a Golden Axe as well, right?
Yeah, I think I did hear something about that more concrete than like the Jet Set stuff at this point.
Sega. They must have another Sonic game. Well, speaking of like games up their sleeve, there must be a Sonic game soon, right? There must be a Sonic announcement soon.
But will it be open zone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One big open world this time. They'll beat Mario to the punch and do it badly.
Probably.
No, that's not. They always do it second and badly.
Yeah, that's true.
The only other bullet point I've put down here is that Destiny 2 is ending.
For whatever that exactly means, of course.
Yeah, no more.
Presumably
big
they're not
updates.
just going to turn the whole thing off.
No, they're not turning it off. It's not the death of the game, but there's Bungie aren't no longer working on any new content, I guess, which is, I think, perfectly understandable. Now they have a new baby.
Well, and also apparently they're not making any money for Sony.
Well, yeah. Apparently Marathon hasn't done Sony's expectations levels of good. And I think Bungie have openly said we're incubating new projects at the moment. So whether or not that means Marathon is going to get a huge amount of support, before they start working on something else. I would assume a studio is incubating new projects all the damn time, right? To find ideas that work. but or you'd hope. I guess Bungie haven't done that for the last. God, how long has Destiny been running? It's Xbox 360
long
era.
Time.
Like, yeah, over a decade.
And then, like, what does Sony even want them to do at this point? Like, they're a shooter making company, but they've made 2, and they're basically, you know, those are the 2 niches of shooters. It's the MMO shooter and the extraction shooter. They've done them.
Well, if they want to, if they don't want to make Bungie to make a prestige.
Well, you're just going to make fake Halo. They're going to somehow become the Killzone team.
Oh my god, that was quite funny. Yeah, well, Guerrilla are too tied up with Horizon now, right? So
yeah, I guess.
So put Bungie on Killzone.
Because that worked so well for what they did with Halo and Free for Free.
Yeah. Anything else anyone want to talk about? You want to talk about this EVE expansion, Zach?
No, because I don't really know anything about it apart from it's apparently happening, and that's just a slightly weird concept for EVE. That there might be a completely separated piece of space that you can't go in unless you've pulled the expansion.
Yeah, unless you've bought Mists of Pandaria.
Yeah, exactly. And also that apparently maybe, I don't know if this is with the expansion or they're just doing this, but then they might be making starter zones that are like fully insulated from PvP, which is just like, that just goes against the whole concept of even more so than having a separate area of space. The whole point of EVE is you're always completely exposed to getting ganked.
It's the extraction shooter of MMOs.
Yeah, kind of. In fact, kind of almost literally. 'Cause, I mean, I stopped playing before Wormhole Space really. I mean, I played a little bit while the start of Wormhole Space was happening, but Wormhole Space basically is the EVE extraction shooter. Because the wormholes collapse and everything. You have a limited amount of time or whatever, and you have to get in there and not get shot on the way out. And have someone steal all your shit.
I guess they've done that.
Yeah, pretty much. Also, did you know that they're trying to make another EVE FPS again?
Are they?
Yep.
Again?
Yep. Apparently.
From what little I played of that first one, because it came out free to play, I think on PS3 or something
for like a minute.
Yeah, for what little I played of it, I didn't hate it. I felt like it needed refining.
I mean, it never
and it felt early when I played it, because it probably was.
Yes. And it was never going to actually manage to do the cross-game thing that they wanted to do.
Right, yeah.
At that time. Maybe now they could. Probably not, because it still doesn't really make sense in the concept of how you play an FPS round versus the timescales of EVE.
They're going to revisit doing an actual space shooter like Valkyrie.
No. I mean, that was...
I always found that an interesting idea, that they would explore actual a space combat game, without spreadsheets and right clicks.
I feel like in that case it ran into the same problem, is that they wanted it to all be connected, and that it just doesn't work like that. You can't. These timescales are too different between MMO timescales and regular gameplay timescales.
Right, yeah. Maybe they should make PlanetSide 4 or something for Sony.
I mean, that is, yeah, I guess that is kind of basically what the idea that they were trying to rip off. I guess is just make a PlanetSide game in EVE.
Star Citizen.
Well, I suppose they're trying to do a little bit of that with their ground combat stuff. Maybe that's what Bungie will make new PlanetSide for Sony.
Nobody talks about what Star Citizen's actual game actually is right now.
It still doesn't really have one, that's the problem.
Does it still have an FPS module? Or
Yes, it does. And they're still claiming that they're going to release the separate game part first. Whatever it's called, Squadron 76 or something.
Oh, what, a standalone, classic game?
It's like a game.
A video game?
Yes, supposedly. And they keep claiming that that's relatively close to being done, but is it? Who knows?
Give it a decade.
Yeah.
Give it a decade and another billion.
Yes. But then the large-scale thing is still ever in the state of, can they make servers work for it?
No, is the answer.
No.
Like, why is it still able to function? I bet that's a pretty fun job to have. Like, knowing you're going to write something that, like, you're just dicking around all day. Just write, like, pretty much. Like, the developers are just, like, writing stuff that's never going to work. But as long as you know that that's what you're getting into and what you're doing. Maybe that's okay.
Well, I don't think it's okay. It's maybe fine for you as long as you don't think about it too much.
I'm making money and wasting my life. My life's work. My magnum opus. I made that dimple on that guy's face in that cutscene. And it cost me $1 million. Oh boy. Anything else newsy that anyone wants to mention at all?
Not very newsy, is it?
It's not a very newsy time. It all kicks off like next week.
Well,
next
naturally.
week. Okay.
For June.
Look forward to the not E3 press conferences.
Yeah.
Coming up. In the meantime, what you been playing, Rob?
Now how do I do this? Do I go for the big guns first or leave it for the segue? I think I should leave it for the segue. I've been playing Dave the Diver.
Fucking still.
Oh yes, we know.
Yeah. Yeah. I got credits. I finished the main storyline. So that got done. It did give me one of those. It's like, it doesn't call it a point of no return, but it has a subtle hint where Dave just turns to the camera and goes like, "Hey, if I was playing an RPG, this is the point where I'd probably want to be over prepared." So I kind of knew it was cut that was going to be the end sequence, and so then just spent an extra bunch of time just running the restaurant, selling fish, doing some side quests. I now have 2 restaurants. Ooh, not a spoiler because there's an achievement that tells you that that's going to happen. So now there's an extra layer of management thrown in. I think it's fair to say that the sort of back third of that game wasn't anywhere near as surprising or as just straight up fun. Let's put it that way. Like the pacing for me slowed right down as I found out I had to do because of so much management stuff being added and so many new mechanics being added. And I think I mentioned last time the runs getting quite long if I wanted to try and achieve everything in one go.
Right.
Which I didn't have to do. I probably should have just taken I'll do quicker runs. I'll go in and do this one thing and then fill up my inventory with random crap that's nearby along the way and then just get out, rather than going in and being laser focused on what I wanted to do, which then actually took longer because I wanted to laser focus on multiple things in a route. Maybe that actually wasn't the best way to go about it. But yeah, I think it did slow down, and there's still a couple of cool things that happened towards the end that you're just oh, that's pretty sweet, or some nice surprises. I think I talked about the concert setting last time. That was a nice little surprise. Yeah, and some callbacks and things. Yeah, it does some good stuff. It's just it felt like it lost a little momentum in the last third. But then it's sort of some of the management stuff. I definitely haven't seen. I still haven't seen all of that game. Is what I mean. And some of it looks like it's going to be quite a grind to do. My Tamagotchi lived for 10 in-game days, and I think I might have to start taking there's an achievement for getting so many different types of Tamagotchi pet, for instance, and out of it. And it's well, I may have to start killing my Tamagotchi in order to get that achievement in good time. Otherwise, I'm going to have to play 100 in-game days, which is going to take a pretty long time. It's probably not that many days, but it's going to take a while. And there's also these rare fish that only turn up once a week, and stuff like that. That is a bit of a pain because that means I've got to play for a whole week of content to get to a day where they might appear, and that for me now takes quite a while to do. So it's there are bits that have become a bit grindy as a result, and the money requirements for upgrades are still pretty high for me. I didn't really get over that hump yet of things seemingly costing more than I'm making right now. But maybe managing the second branch will help me with that. But I saw credits, so I know what I'm like. That probably means I'm not going to play as much.
Well, if you got over 50% of the achievements.
I've got like 80%, yeah. So
Pretty good going.
the rest seem doable though. Like as I say, they're a bit of a grind, but they seem perfectly doable. So maybe I will go back to it on the odd occasion, just for some nice some chill underwater music vibes.
Yeah,
because I do dig the soundtrack on this thing quite a bit.
Dave vibes.
Dave vibes. Dave the Viber. It's a good game. Yeah, that's pretty much all I've got to say on that. Yeah, it's a very good game. There is a sort of tease at the end of the credits where it has got a sting, and it's just like, what on earth is that about?
Okay.
Presumably setups for the DLC that's coming out very soon, I think.
That'll drag you back in, I'm sure.
Yeah, the DLC looks interesting. I've talked about it before, but yeah, the DLC does look interesting. Yeah, it's a cool game. I've also been playing this other quite unknown thing because, and a rare thing happened to our small little podcast. I received an email.
Oh, good.
Really?
from a small developer called Workshop Geek. One guy who's made a little game and sent us a code. So shout out Workshop Geek.
Sweet.
Full disclosure, yeah, we got given this game. I say we because I saw the email, so haha, I got it.
Because Rob is the one who controls it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's called Particulitix. Which makes it sound like it might be a factory game. Don't worry, it's not a factory game. I'd have handed that to you immediately for your expertise. If it was. Yeah, it's an interesting game. Like, so it's kind of a Geometry Wars roguelike.
Right.
Built entirely out of every part of the graphics is built out of a particle engine, effectively. And this was the developer's way of learning, apparently, like how to do a particle engine. And it was just like, well, I ended up making a game out of it, and it's pretty cool. And yeah, I kind of agree. It's quite addictive in its own, and pretty cool in its own little way. So
Nice.
they have like these fixed sets of enemy waves, like split into levels of increasing difficulty, and you pick a weapon to start with, and it has the classic sort of almost Vampire Survivors like loop where shoot some stuff, they will, because it's a particle engine, become sparkly particles when you shoot them, and if you pick up those particles, you eventually build up enough XP, and then you get presented with a set of random trees with which you can improve yourself, like add damage, increase your fire rate, add damage auras around you, make your aiming cursor start doing weird things, and you can start like building, as the game itself describes, like start building some pretty broken builds if you get lucky with which trees start coming up and if you're gaining enough XP. But nice. But the other wrinkle is it's like there are zones on the playfield where if your character is in them, that you gain certain buffs. Like there can be like damage zones, or the most important zone at all, which is the ×2 experience. So it's like
get in that zone.
Yeah, get in that zone, get as much as you can.
Don't let Rob into his zone.
Yeah. Don't let me get in my zone. You can, and the thing about the experience particles as they're floating around is you can kind of kite them. So if you can like gravitate enough of them towards you and then make it to the X2 zone, you can sit in there and bank all of it with X2. So there's an element of like, I wouldn't necessarily, strategy sounds like is probably a bit rich, but there's a tactic, right? You probably want to be flying around and bringing that stuff back to the X2 zone, and it's definitely like, depending on which starting weapon you pick. My personal favorite is the shotgun, which is sort of short range but quite high damage. Lots of particles. Yeah, there's a certain strategy to what power-ups you'll be looking for from the trees that unlock with the experience as you go. And you do want to get those right, because you can, and I find this more of a problem with the other weapons than the shotgun, because you can get yourself into a state where it's just very difficult for you to actually succeed. Like the rate of stuff spawning on screen versus your damage output can end up like not in your favor, and it's just going to become unwinnable. there is I think that becomes actually a bit of a problem, especially on the very first level, because you end up with a whole bunch of enemies that are incredibly easily kiteable, so you can just sort of move them around the area, and you're not doing enough damage to take them out and the bosses out, compared to the amount that are spawning in. So you just end up with an increasing like lump of enemies on top of each other that you're kiting around the screen because they're not hurting you. They're quite easy for you to get around and move around, but you're just not damaging them well enough
so to delete them.
So yeah, I spent flipping ages in one of the scenarios going, well, I'm gonna kill the boss eventually, right, if I do this, and eventually I get bored and cock up. Because
Rings of Order sort of situation.
Kinda, yeah. That's kind of a problem, but like for me, it's been solvable by I just won't use that this weapon on this level, and I'll use the shotgun, and then it makes that fight super easy if I've ended up with the right build. And because it's a roguelike, there are permanent upgrades as well. So like at the end of a run, you'll get some currency, and you then spend that currency on now your fire rate will start this quick, or blah 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 blah. Usual roguelike stuff. But I think it's kind of fun. Yeah, I picked it up last night after the unsanctioned plumbing shenanigans, and then just accidentally ended up playing it for several hours in one go, because it was just like, I can't get it. I was trying a stupid strategy. Like, two of the weapons are kind of weird and quite difficult to use, and I'm like, I'm sure I can make a build with this that will work and will get me through. And so I just kept hitting restart at the end of a run and doing it again and then again and then again, like thinking like, yeah, I can do this. I can pull this off. So it got me. Good job. I don't think it's out yet. I think it's out very soon, like early June. So go find it on Steam. Available. I've been playing it on the Steam Deck primarily. Seems to work fine on the Steam Deck, even though clearly because it's not out, it's not been verified or anything yet properly. But
sure,
works fine for me. So
good play testing.
Yeah. The one thing I will note that may be a little divisive is the game out of the box defaults to having AI generated music. And which I personally obviously have a bit of a problem with. As someone who makes music, I find that a difficult thing to stomach, even if that music ends up being kind of good. That's the most annoying part of it. I actually quite like the music.
Right.
But a chunk of it is AI generated, which I can't. It's understandable, right? Single guy, he needs needs to get something from somewhere. There are some human-made chiptune tracks in there, and there is a toggle in the game to turn the AI stuff off. So, kudos for putting that in. Like that is a good move. At least providing that option. But if you have a qualm about that, I think it's worth putting that up front. That is in there. Which leads me to basically only problem number 2, which is that game needs more music.
Right.
Well, presumably that's why you do the AI generated ones, though.
There's not quite enough of it, and it's on a sort of playlist, so it's not like how I would. Okay, admittedly, Vampire Survivors kind of has the problem that you're listening to that same short loop of music for half an hour at a time, which is its own problem.
Right, yeah. Same as Balatro. You have one music track. Sometimes it's okay if you can get away with it being background music enough.
Yeah, Balatro somehow makes that work. Yeah, and I've said before, like on record, I wish Balatro had more music or had options occasionally. But yeah, I think that the fact that in this one, it's not like there's like you start the level and this level has its own music, and then maybe the level should have its own boss theme when you get to the boss stage. Like maybe that would have been a better design if those music tracks were strong enough. But as it stands, it just like cycles through the music as you're playing, and so you don't really necessarily feel the hype. But it doesn't create any tension or anything or any, and it's not a banger like Geometry Wars 2's like musics or anything like that. The chiptune music is fine. I've got no beef with it. It's pretty good, but like it's just there's something about it that doesn't necessarily feel like that's where the game's strengths are. Right? That's a lesson to be learned for for a young developer. So no, but again, many thanks for sending us the code. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
I'm having a good time with it.
Super cool.
Yeah, super cool. Thank you so much.
And that's with an X, is it?
Particulitix. Yeah, with an X on the end. Yeah.
Particulitix. Workshop Geek.
There we go. There's our non-sponsored or partially sponsored section out of the way.
Yeah, kind of actually sponsored.
Yeah. I can't think what else I've been. I for some reason fired up V Rally again. I don't really know why I did that.
Especially considering the other thing.
Well, yeah. And also, I'd just been playing Colin McRae Rally, right, which is clearly the better rally game of that time period. And I think I saw a video of it. I think exactly. Well, we were off air. We were talking about Top Gear Rally, right?
Right.
Biggity bang, biggity bing, bing bong. And sort of, I accidentally stumbled on a video of V Rally at that time, and I sort of looked at that. And I'm like, I don't remember that. I only played this a month or two ago, and I don't remember it. And then I started. So I put it back in the PlayStation, started playing it, and it's like, oh yeah, this piece of crap. It's not a good game. I don't know why V Rally ended up being everywhere and being quite, as I say, having that sort of presence that it did back in the day, in that sort of Colin McRae versus V Rally kind of thing on PlayStation. Maybe V Rally 2 is better. I don't know. I haven't played that yet. But it's it just handles really strangely. The music is crap. I mean, it looks fine. The visuals are okay, but the physics engine is weird. It's just, I don't know. It's a very strange feeling game to play. And obviously most egregiously at all, it's not rally. It's actual racing.
Right.
It's not it's not timed, which apparently they changed for V Rally 2 and make it into a proper rally game. So it's kind of a weird thing.
Just it's those kind of games are in this extremely weird time period where it's it was before Rallycross existed, but if Rallycross had existed, that could have been what they were calling it.
I'm pretty certain Rallycross existed then, in the 90s, mid to late 90s. But okay, I mean, there's a game on PlayStation called Rallycross that I own.
I don't think that,
and it's it's also not that kind of Rallycross. It's not the official how do you even call it? It's not the official discipline of Rallycross, that turned up. It was in Dirt Rally, right? Rallycross.
Yes.
Yeah. It's not that official discipline of it.
I wouldn't have said that Rallycross. I would have said Rallycross became Rallycross when it did reach that being that discipline, because it was to do with the cars as well, having specially designed cars for that purpose.
Sure. The dual terrain,
because obviously you could argue that most of the super special stages were essentially Rallycross.
Yeah, they pretty much are. Yeah, just without the mandatory tarmac section, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, I played a bit of that. It's a weird game. The completionist bit in my brain is sort of firing, and it's well, maybe I should actually finish the championship on it, and then be done with it.
And then have achievements.
And then go to Colin McRae and finish the championship I started of that, and then. But anyway, I'm kind of. Maybe I don't need to play a car game at the moment, because
you can play a different car game, which also for some reason doesn't have Rallycross, even though it is Rallycross.
Well, it's never had Rallycross. Well, it gets closer to it.
I mean, that's what I mean. It literally is Rallycross in some of those tracks, but they just call it dirt racing for some reason.
Yeah, they get closer to it. Hey, Forza Horizon 6 came out.
Oh, it's happening.
Yeah.
The big game.
It's happening. And more interestingly, I think for the purpose of this podcast, Zach's playing it as well as me.
I mean, we kind of said that might happen.
Yeah. Thank you, Game Pass.
Thank you, my Game Pass somehow not getting cancelled. Even though it was meant to.
Yeah, I used a code to get my Game Pass back, so I'm technically still not paying for it, but that's fine. That's fine. That's by the by. Are
you playing it on Xbox or on PC?
I am playing it on PC. So, but I am playing it on my couch thanks to the streaming I've talked about before through Moonlight and Sunshine, or Apollo. So I'm using Apollo as the server and Moonlight on my Xbox. Confusingly, I'm using Moonlight on my Xbox because of its HDR support on that device to stream it from my PC to my TV because I want them rays, yo. I want them traced rays and that beautiful GI and those lovely reflections. It's like, so this is a pretty good looking game, guys. It's a pretty good looking game. I mean, not that Forza Horizon has ever not been a pretty good looking game, but
you can run the rays as well, can't you, Zach? Probably even more so.
Well, I didn't actually look at the settings, but it seems like it's turned up to full. But as usual, I don't even notice.
There's
just like this just looks like a game to me.
So it set itself to, like, on my machine, it set it up to a set of settings that looked pretty impressive out of the box, but it didn't turn on ray trace GI.
Sure.
Out of the box for me.
I guess that makes sense.
So I turned that on.
I mean,
as it turns out, I can put every single setting of it all the way to the top and get a 60 plus experience. Like, I can max this thing out. It is so well optimized. Like, it's a fabulous running game.
I feel like the one thing that I need to go and look at the settings at, because even though it seems to be set to like ultra or whatever, it
goes up to extreme RT.
I don't know what. I think I saw maybe ultra in that menu, but I didn't even look at it. But like, I think the main problem that I can see with it is like the anti-aliasing is not good. Yes,
100%. It's this game's biggest problem is that I don't think they're using the very latest DLSS implementation. So, because it seems to have, I'm running it with DLSS. Like, I'm not running it natively. I should point that out. That's probably where I'm gaining a fair amount of frames back. It runs it like, when I'm running it on my TV, it's running at 60 FPS at about 80% load on my 5070. On my desktop, I've only got a 1440p monitor, so when I'm playing it there, but my 1440p monitor can go all the way up to 165 hertz, and it's getting 100-ish at that resolution with DLSS set to quality mode. It also has an automatic mode, so you can let DLSS figure out. You can let the game figure out which DLS mode is suitable for your target frame rate, which you can also set. But I don't think it has like some of the previous Forza games, like dynamic resolution scaling and stuff like that. I don't think that's there this time because it prefers you to use DLSS or FSR because it supports the AMD stuff as well. That's all there. But I'm not sure it's the most recent DLSS because it doesn't like there's a fair amount of chain link fences going on in this game.
Classic mistake for driving games.
Yeah, and it doesn't. Those are like the worst looking thing. Well, no, the second worst looking thing in the game for me is like because of the way it can't quite resolve. There's quite a lot of fizzle around them. There's like definitely an LOD pop with them as well, where they don't look quite right. But the worst part for me is the flare. The flare smoke runs at a ridiculously low resolution, like maybe 4 times lower resolution than what you're running at. And this isn't a new problem. This was a problem in Forza Horizon 5. This was a problem in Forza Horizon 4. It is particularly noticeable on 1440p for some reason. So I've read on Reddit. Like, it just seems to be like that. Like 1440p seems like a bad resolution for Forza. It doesn't seem to do it very well. It is not affected by DLSS. I played with all the settings for that, and it's like it's not. It doesn't seem to be that. You can go native, and it still would still look weird. It's a weirdly low resolution effect, which is a shame because I bet it would look real nice if it ran at the right resolution. Because it's like they're using a smoke simulation and light is in it, and with the rays and stuff, it does look pretty nice during the night street racing stuff, right? Like if you just didn't notice that it would made of pixels. Like it's a strange choice in an otherwise very good looking game. Like it's good looking in a way you don't really expect, like as well. Like it just makes certain scenes look so natural. Like I love the way the light looks now in the plentiful forests, right? The way that it's darkened in just that and sort of dulled in just that right way under the canopy. It looks real good. I mean, Digital Foundry did a nice breakdown of some of the stuff that it's doing, and they there's, they do a bit where they drive over some of the red painted bits of road in a white car, and it's like, then of course, like the red of the road is bounced off onto the car as you drive over it, and it's like, whoa, that's the stuff, man. I know it's like real subtle, and you barely notice it while you're playing it, but it's like, it's all these little things that really do add up to the realistic look. Like I was doing I think it's the first Drift Club event you can do, which is around the streets of Tokyo at night, and I effed up a turn, but I was end up facing like a storefront, and of course with the ray tracing on, it's like I'm seeing my own lights like in the storefront, like bouncing in and coming out, and it's like, okay, it has the problem that all the Forza games do, where the headlights don't look nearly bright enough. Like, if you're looking at the point that the light source of the headlights, you want to be like properly blinded if they're going for a realistic look, so they dull that down too much for my tastes. So it doesn't look quite right. But like seeing my own car and the other cars around me sort of all just casting light in this storefront reflection, it's like it looked pretty cool for that hot moment.
Sweet.
Yeah. But that's the tech stuff, I guess. Like,
so, with all the games and stuff, the most important part, how annoyingly enthusiastic are they on the radio or whatever?
So, okay, the structure is almost identical.
Yeah.
I still think the writing is bad.
Sure.
But it's bad in a weirdly different way to the previous games. Like, it is not they were right. It is not the you're a legend, like, you're a superstar, you're the best. They're not constantly aggrandizing you in quite the same way that they were before. Okay, I mean, it kind of quickly starts turning that way a little bit, because like if you do well in an event, like your quote unquote friends will say, hey, you did a pretty good job there, and stuff like that. They will big you up every now and then.
And technically, the radio DJs are constantly bigging you up. They just don't know that it's you.
Yeah, they don't know.
Some guy did really good at this event.
Yeah. Like Scotty Tyler, who's back. Your boy, Scott Tyler, from Horizon Base Arena. He's like, I'm going to call you Betty for no reason, because he doesn't know. Nobody knows who you are, but you're doing. They always reference your exploits on that.
I will call you Betty. Betty, when you call me, you can call me Al.
Exactly. But. Yeah, so there is still a bit of that. I think like where I've had a problem, the tone still feels very unbelievable, very. Like, the acting's not great, again. I just think, like, there are bits of like, they're trying to set it up as, like, oh, yeah, two mates, come at the thing, like, given 3 cars immediately, and somehow build up a garage. Like, oh, we're not really professional drivers. We're just going to enter Horizon and see how well we do. And, like, within 2 hours, you have a garage of over 100 cars.
Like, I don't know about that.
I don't know. Like, the structure doesn't still. I know what they were going for, but the structure doesn't feel right. Like, it's still a Horizon game underneath to some degree.
I mean, I think maybe the way you could have solved that, except it would make sense with other parts of the game, is to like make it so that the seasons happen in a different way.
Yeah, because the seasons are still real time timed, like they have been
like
in previous
if it
games.
took an entire year for you to be able to buy a whole new house, then yeah, maybe it would make sense. But if it's just like you've done 5 races and then you're done buying a whole house, maybe it doesn't.
Yeah, they're not quite designed like. I would like them to have found a happy medium somewhere between Horizon and a Gran Turismo, right? Like Gran Turismo, I don't know what the more modern games are like, but for me, my knowledge is kind of stuck in GT1 and 2 time, where those games were excessively grindy.
Famously,
to progress and do well. If they had found a happy medium between those two somewhere, but it with the world of a Horizon game, then I think that would have been a better structure.
I think the problem...
But there are a few things that have changed. Say your problem first.
I think the problem with that idea is that they don't have enough races, basically. Like,
right.
If they had like twice as many races that you could then play through, and you wouldn't have to grind the same one over and over to do a grind, then you might be able to go that way.
Sure. And maybe that'll open up a bit, and I've heard that perhaps it does to some degree at some point in the game. I just haven't reached that point, and I'm sure.
Why aren't there enough races? Because the world's not big enough, or to have.
Well, it's not that they just haven't set them up, I guess.
Yeah,
Right.
It's been
there's a lot of roads that you're never going to race on. They're just there to drive on.
Yeah, there's been a weird recurring problem with the previous... what has felt like a problem to me, at least from the multiplayer aspect of like the previous games. It's like, I don't think there's the ability for you to build a track on the roads, which feels like a huge... like omission. Like, I don't know if that's still true now that there's like a construction mode to some degree.
Yeah, but I think that's just limited to the estate or whatever.
They should have like a Midtown Madness mode where you just put checkpoints and you just have to get through them.
This is exactly what we said about Mario Kart World.
Yeah.
Why do people keep making it open worlds and not just add the ability to put checkpoints in them?
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much how Horizon's races work anyway.
Yeah.
Right? They are just like, they do have these checkpoints that you're supposed to, that you have
Sometimes
to go
really
through.
annoying.
Sometimes, yeah.
It's like, why is the checkpoint post off the inside of this corner?
Yeah.
So you can't go on the inside of the corner. You have to deliberately cut wider.
Slightly bit further out, yeah, and it doesn't feel totally natural. They are better about that in this game than they were in the previous games. I do feel like the checkpoint placement has improved.
Okay.
Slightly. And it also doesn't play the annoying you've gone through a checkpoint noise that it did in the previous games. There was like a little like symbol sort of noise whenever you went through checkpoints.
Sure.
And it's like, that's gone. And it's like, thank heavens for that. That was quite annoying after a while.
It might help you realise when you've missed one of it quicker.
Sure, yeah. Because there's a bit of a delay before it puts up the checkpoint missed dialogue.
Yeah.
But you can always just rewind and sort it out. It's not too big a deal. Yeah, what were we even talking about? I've lost the plot now. Talking about checkpoints. I don't. They're progression. Let's go back to that, right? So there's definitely things I like now. Like, so the progression, or at least the races I've seen so far, they've all had a limitation of some kind. Which
that's what I have a problem with.
Oh, really? Because like the previous I don't remember there being like in Forza 4 and 5, like you could enter any event with any class you want, and you're encouraged to just pick whatever, right, in those games, and just be like, yeah, you could enter this event you can enter this dirt race with a Ferrari if you wanted, and like we'll set the race up so the other cars are also in your class.
Yeah,
and
I would expect that at least.
Yeah, within your car category and within your car's level, right? And we'll set that race up for you and go. And I think that's the thing that opens up a little bit later on in the game, if I've heard correctly.
I've seen a couple of races that do have like the anything goes set up,
right?
Where you can just put anything in there, and presumably it does just pick the other cars automatically to match. But, like, that's what I want more of. But you can't just do that, because the problem that they'd give themselves if they did that is then people would just drive one car all the time, and you'd ruin the whole point of having a million cars in this game.
Exactly, which is kind of what happened to me in the previous Forza Horizons. I found the cars I would do well in races,
but I think
then just stick to doing that.
I think you need to have both. You need to have more of the free races, but also for the free races where you can pick anything, they should just have... Like, you should just have essentially the, not really leaderboards, but like whether you've won the race for every class. Instead of just, if you just win it in any class, it just counts.
Yeah. So I think that, as I said, this is what I mean. I think that opens up at some point. Like, so you can go and do any level with any class and you get stuff. I don't know if you get like tracked for that, but like, I think it becomes possible.
Well, sure, but being possible is not what you wanted. That's why you'd want it to be as part of the progression grind.
Yeah,
like, have it so there's a reason to play the same course 5 times because you're playing it in 5 different classes of car.
Classes, yeah. Yeah, I can see that, but I don't mind if that becomes something that happens later. Like, as I say, early days for me is particularly. I know, Zach, you're a lot further in, but like if that becomes a thing later, then that's okay. I kind of prefer it to like, because I still I kind of have a problem with the way the progression is still like rewarding you for just doing. Right, that's still a thing. Like Forza.
It's 50-50, isn't it? Like, yeah, you have the medal for completing the race, and then the medal for winning the race.
Yeah, it feels a little bit too much like I don't know, school sports day or something, where it's just like, well done, you took part. You get half
but that's
credit.
Because it's the more casual game. They don't want to restrict people's progression through the game that badly.
I think it would have like been better if there was like at least. Well, but that's the thing. It doesn't restrict your progression because there's a billion. There's other things to do.
Yeah, but some people are going to
getting the experience boards and doing the sightseeing and
stuff
like that. And those also. But they also, I know, what if you don't want to do that? But they also count towards the progression. I think if you don't want to do those, then you get good. Or turn the difficulty down, which is still a valid option, right? You can turn the difficulty really quite low.
Yeah.
if you want to, and then you'll be fine, and it will progress you as if you were playing it highly skilled or whatever.
But also, you don't like. Arguably, that is the reason why the difficulty isn't that much of an option. Is that the whole point is you're not meant to win all the time.
No, but it doesn't like. But this is the thing. The current system currently makes me go, "Ah, shit! I didn't win that one. Do I want? I didn't come first.
Yeah,
and not coming first is the same as coming anywhere else. Like it's like, do I want to? Am I happy with that right now? I'm not sure I am. Like, I'm going to hit the retry because of the class limitation and be like, well, it's not like I'm going to come back to this later with a better car.
Yeah, I guess.
It's like, well, maybe you are. Maybe you find a car that's more suited to your driving and you just do better at it. Yeah, like, so the results are now encouraging me that the current structure is encouraging me to retry until I win, because it's like, I'm not sure I'm going to.
Because as you just said, it doesn't matter if you don't win. No, you still get enough progression to progress.
Exactly. There's like, it's not for the progression; it's for my own satisfaction that I want to win.
But then because winning is the only
because the winning is the only target. Yeah, I don't know. I'm conflicted about it. I think a lot of Forza Horizon's design has always been a bit conflicting. It's like, I think when I talked about it in Forza Horizon 5, I actually kind of praised I think I was a bit more positive about the idea of just do. Whereas I look at it, I come into it now and I'm like, oh, maybe that was why I didn't like Forza Horizon 5 as much as I liked the other ones. Because I don't feel like, because now I because that's not enough. Like, I need to have something to aim for. I need to have more of a challenge. And I want that to be enforced. At least, yeah, I don't know. I feel like if I'm going to be let into a racing festival, I need to at least have proved I have the credentials in which to do so.
Okay, that maybe makes sense. Make the well, the trouble is it's the exact inversion of that, but you make the main events the ones you have to win, except the main events aren't actually races; they're just cool things.
Yeah. Things I've added though that I do, as I say, I quite like the limitations because it just like kind of makes the choice for you. It's like, I've got this Toyota Supra that's like max in this class. It's like, I'll use that. Great. Cool.
Okay, there is one huge problem with the limitations though that I have, which is, I mean, seems like a fairly obvious problem, which is that kind of inherently you have the idea of like upgrading your car to the tip of that class, get as close to the round 100 number on the rating as you can.
Yeah.
But then, in order to do that, you have to, like, see what class the race is for, then go into your garage, then do the whole customized thing, then unload from your garage into the overworld, then fast travel to where the race is, then load into the start line of the race.
100% this still sucks, and it's been a problem in all of them, all of the Forza Horizon games.
Really
you can't just go to the garage and do the upgrades, which I'm sure the game could just do without you needing to load into a garage somewhere else. Like, just do it in the tune-up, like, part of the menu at the start of a race. So, like, so this car I've just acquired, or you've made me buy, which in fairness hasn't happened to me yet. I haven't got into a race and haven't had a car.
It almost certainly will happen.
Probably, yes. Or, I mean, for a lot of the races, like, you can find a car to buy on the way to them.
But it still won't be upgraded.
It won't be upgraded, no. But it might.
Maybe it will be slightly.
It might be a little bit upgraded from stock, but yeah, it hasn't happened to me yet. But yeah, like if that happens, it's like, I'm going to give it a go, like with the stock car to see if I can do it. But like, I know I'm going to be more competitive if I could just upgrade my car in place. Like, I don't understand why they haven't seen this yet as a flaw. It's I know there's a certain realism, I suppose, to just like, I'm going to have to take this car to the garage now to fit that turbocharger.
But it's still a fast travel. But you don't literally have to drive there.
And fast travel doesn't cost you anything now, which they've changed. Like, fast travel is free, where it used to cost you credits to do, which compounded that problem even more, in fairness, because it would cost you money if you wanted to fast travel somewhere to tune up the car and then fast travel back to the event, which it doesn't let you do unless you've done the event. Right? You can fast travel to events you've done. You can't fast travel to events you haven't done.
I don't think that's true.
I mean, I checked it today. Like, I had a race that I hadn't done yet, but I had discovered, but I couldn't fast travel to it. I had to drive to it.
Well, you have to discover the road to be able to fast travel to a place. So you have to have driven along the road. You don't. I don't think you have to go into the start of the event in order to fast travel to it.
Okay, yeah, I would believe that. Yeah, okay, maybe that's it.
Functionally, it's the same because it's just a point on the road anyway that you're fast traveling to.
Yeah, okay, maybe that's the case. Maybe that's because I haven't driven on it freely.
And obviously, that might just be because you didn't know to go there yet. But you might just have coincidentally driven along that road before an event even spawned there for you to know about.
Yeah.
But yes.
I mean, I like that it's not spawning the not events, if that makes sense, like the speed traps and the drift zones and the jumps. Like, it doesn't spawn nearly as many of those early as it would in the previous games, and that kind of makes sense to me because those things kind of had a set target, right? But that set target didn't matter what car you were driving in.
Yeah, it's always expecting you to be super fast.
Yeah, to be driving like an S2 class car, and it's like, well, I'm not right now. I'm driving Bs to As, which, in fairness, is like for me in the Forza games, they're kind of the most fun for me. I like driving the B to A classes. They're I never really enjoyed it too much when you got to the really fast cars. Just not for me. I don't know. For reasons I might get to in a minute. So I'm kind of, I think it's a good idea that they've held a lot of those back right now. You still get the drag strip for some reason, which is kind of the crappiest part of the game. I don't know why those are there. Like, they suck. And like, you can go to the damn tuning menu and it'll tell you what your car is going to do it in, like, because it will simulate the stats. Like, that's all. And Forza's always done that since the first game, since the first Motorsport on Xbox. Which is kind of funny. Like, yeah, the drag strips suck. Does anyone get enjoyment out of them? I don't know. Yeah, so that you're 100% right to point that out because that is a huge flaw, and that has been a flaw forever. And they still haven't fought to fix it, which I think is kind of bad.
I mean, I just think the worst part of that whole sequence is not being able to fast travel directly from the garage to the start line of an event. You have to load out into the open world for no reason.
You have to go drive.
You can't even look at the map from inside the garage unless you're looking at the festival map, which shows you the map, but only with the festival icons. Can you get to the
pause menu from there, like by pushing start? And does it take you to the actual menu? I don't know. I haven't tried. I can't remember.
I don't think the pause menu has those options on it though, because that's not the pause menu.
Yeah,
it's
a different menu. Yeah.
But yes, it's kind of ridiculous that you can't just fast travel out of the garage into the, because it's still loading you into the overworld anyway, just not the bit of the overworld you want to be in.
Yeah, it's a little bit annoying. I find it. There are still some of the old irritations that are like, okay, I want to route to an event, but I want to turn off Anna's voice pretty much all of the time. If that exists, I would love to know, because I just don't want her to talk to me.
Well, I feel like sometimes I've just had periods where she doesn't say anything, but I need it. Like, we didn't even tell me there was corners on this route for some reason.
Yeah, I'm happy with the GPS never talking to me again. I
mean, my huge problem that I've been having more later in the game with the GPS is, why can you not set multiple waypoints in a route?
Oh, you've never been able to do that.
Yeah, but why not?
Yeah.
If they want you to drive every road, but when you hit a GPS waypoint, it just puts you on the single route that it always chooses, because it always chooses the same routes. It's like, I should be able to be like, go here, then here, then here, then here, and then like have it path along all those roads in between.
And while you're at it, why not make an event out of it? Like,
yeah, exactly.
Can I have a street race on this route? That'd be cool.
In fact, even if they let you going back to that point, even if they let you make races where it literally was you only put one GPS point down, that would still be an improvement.
Yeah. All of this sounds a bit negative because,
as we do,
because we've like, the only Horizon game I haven't played is the first one, so I've played them all, and I've played them all quite a lot, and so it just kind of is a bit disappointing when you come to the next one in the series and they've barely changed the formula. They've tried, and yes, the progression is a little bit better now, but I think than it was in, especially than how it was in 5. But it's it's not quite, they still have the story events that still have all their annoying traits, right? So they still have the voiceovers that happen whether you're running the race for the first time or whether you're retrying it to get the 3-star target.
But a lot of them don't necessarily have as much directed. It's more like background.
I guess it doesn't feel any better or worse to me than the previous. It's just there, and I wish it would do it for the first run, or maybe when you did something like, because there's some vocals that happen based on some events you do,
right?
Like during those events, like when you hit like the 2-star mark, for instance, it's going to say something. When you hit the 3-star mark, it's going to say something. It's like, fine, if I didn't hit 3 stars in my first run and then I hit 3 stars, go ahead, tell me that bit of dialogue you didn't tell me the first time. It's fine. I just don't want the whole dialogue tree to happen every single time I try that event. And it still does. It still does. And it's still irritating.
But half of them you don't even ever have to retry because they're unfailable.
Well, they're unfailable, but like getting... So there's been a couple where I've got 2 stars on.
Well, yeah, but I meant some of them don't even have stars, technically.
No, true. But yeah, there's been a couple where I've got 2 stars on the run, and it's just like, well, okay, I'm going to do that again. Because I'm not far off the target. I can get it this time. Yeah. Unfortunately, that's been the case every time that's happened to me. Like, it's like, oh, I 2-starred this run. It's like, well, okay, I'll get the 3 on the next one.
Correctly balanced then, isn't it?
So that's not been so bad so far. But yeah, if I do get to some difficult challenges, I don't want to be hearing that voiceover every single time. It's just inane. I did notice on... So I like the kind of time attacky events they've added to this thing, because I don't think they were in the previous games. I like being able to just rock up to a circuit. Like, there are a couple of circuits around, right? And then just going on a time attack of the loop. I would have liked there to be more of those, and maybe there will be more turning up in just random locations on the map, maybe. But the ones I've seen so far are at tracks.
Yeah, I think those are fine, but they needed bigger tracks also.
Maybe.
Because as soon as you take any high-class car on there, it's like, this track is way too small for this speed of car.
Yeah, sure. So I enjoy those. I quite enjoy doing the Forza Motorsport thing in Forza Horizon, just rocking up and actually just running far too many laps on the same damn track, just because I get those tiny little split gains every time I'm doing it, and I'm like, oh, that's satisfying. And then you
want to do that in a big open world game? That's cool.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think there should be way more of these about, because they're actually. And Need for Speed Unbounded. What was it called? Unbounded? No, that's a Ridge Racer game. Whatever the last Need for Speed game was, they had those dotted about, and they were kind of fun to do. Just rock up in a car and see if you can go around this tiny little course, and just lap it out for a while.
Yeah, because I mean, the only other thing like that is the Pathfinders, which are like the off-road equivalent of that, essentially.
The Pathfinders have always kind of sucked.
Yes.
Like, because they are just point your car in a straight line at the marker. Like, bring an off-road car and go in a straight line. Because next biggest problem for me, well, it's a... Man, I'm conflicted about this one as well. Like, they have changed forests in this game so that you can hit every tree now, and that tree will disintegrate.
Well, except for the really big ones.
Oh, wait, so that you've hit there are trees you can still hit? Because I haven't encountered a single one.
I don't know if I've hit any in forests, but in like Tokyo, there's trees on the edge of the road that are solid.
Yes. Those trees are different. Yes, I have done that. But the trees in the forest, you can just destroy every single one now. Whereas before, there was a kind of a differentiation between small trees and big trees, and you couldn't take down the big trees.
I mean, technically...
And I think that kind of sucks, because Pathfinder events, as you say, are now going to be piss easy, right? Because you just point in a direction and no terrain can stop you, apart from maybe a building or a tractor.
Or rocks.
That's stupid.
Yeah, it's like...
I don't know what they should do.
I want collisions. I want things to matter in the world. Like I don't like this wreckage system.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. But like, maybe it's fine when you're like driving around the world to be able to smash through the forest unrealistically. But in a race, maybe you should just lose points or something, or lose time or some shit.
Yeah, so there are definitely some things I've hit some guardrails, for instance, on the Shoto. Oh, I can't remember. Is that the name of the highway? You probably know, Dan.
Expressway.
Shuto.
Yeah, I know, but I only know because of that game. Yeah.
Shoto. Yeah, because Tokyo Extreme Racing is called Shoto Batoru in
It is indeed
in Japan, Japanese. But yeah, the Shoto. Like, I've definitely hit the guardrails in the middle, and those have actually had a pretty noticeable slowing effect.
Yeah, although I don't know if that's like just because there's a lot of individual pieces that you're hitting and it's like accumulating the slowdown.
I mean, probably. That is probably what it is. But whereas, yeah, you run through like hay bales and buildings on some of the dirt track races or the cross country races, and they have next to no effect. And it's like, I don't want this. I actually kind of want like good driving to matter.
I just feel like if I'm gonna,
or at least for to provide me with the option with that, right?
I'm gonna like not do that because I don't want to break my own suspension of disbelief for no reason.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Everything
but
is.
If it gave me some kind of advantage, then it's stupid.
I mean, I felt that was like the biggest problem, like the biggest, most egregious. I mean, the forests are pretty bad in this, but like the most egregious thing, like, was when in Forza Horizon 4, right, when you're driving around Scotland and there's cobblestone walls that are made of polystyrene, and it's
from
like
Yorkshire, right? The Yorkshire Dales walls, right?
Yeah, and you're just like, ugh.
Yeah.
I don't want this. I actually do want to be able to drive around, and because there are spots in Forza Horizon 6 where some of the billboards, for instance, are in kind of puzzly locations. That's not new. There's been they've done that for a while, but there's a few where it's like it rewards you for doing like some technical, careful driving up a thing, and then and then there's a billboard up there. Like, okay, there's been one of those for me, but. Oh, no, 2. That's fair. There's been 2 I've found that are a bit like that, where it's like, I can't just bundle my way to it through someone's back garden. I need to actually get the car up here delicately. And those have been kind of interesting. That's been kind of nice. Like, a lot of the ones there will be a few where I'm sure it will be like line up a ridiculous jump from afar. And I kind of don't like those. Those have always been kind of difficult and annoying. To pull off. Also, another thing you probably need a ridiculous S2 car to do.
But at least
half the time
can swap cars on the open world.
Yeah, you
don't have to go back to the garage for that.
That works just fine, and that's been a thing for a while. So that's okay now. I like the time attacky stuff. The Horizon Rush event, the first one of those, I did notice there was one part of that where the voiceover did the thing I wanted it to do. It was like there's an announcer going on, and if you retry that event to try and improve your time, the announcer stops. Which and he doesn't do the sort of background, which I actually think is kind of the opposite. Like, it's like maybe he should be reacting to how I'm driving.
The guy you can't hear so much.
Yeah. And I don't want the stuff that's piped into my ears directly somehow. And they still do the thing with the music that I flippin' hate in these games. It's like I've turned the audio mode to music focus because otherwise you can't bloomin' hear it like during races or anything like that because it's so like lowly positioned in the audio, but like it's so quiet compared if you put the rest of the sound effects up all to 100, which I think is the default, right? It just turns everything up. Like the music becomes drowned out by things, and it's like these games have got extensive soundtracks that I want to hear. But the music is always like lower than you'd think it should be in terms of the volume. And then you finish a race and you get that like
momentarily blasts you. Right?
Yeah, you get 2 seconds of the music being at the volume you want it to be at, and then it sort of fades out, and then it goes bong into one of those like transition scenes,
yes.
And then it comes back again at a different point in the music at a different volume. And then fades. It's like the music volume level is all over the place and never where I want it. It's like and this has been a problem for 3 games at least now, and it's still not where I want it. And I find that hugely annoying. I'm doing a lot of the we're doing a lot of things. So I've played a lot of these games, so it's easy to pick on these things. I think the driving model is better. It feels really good to drive. And maybe that's just because I'm almost entirely driving Japanese cars, because why wouldn't I? If I'm in Japan, I'm going to drive Japanese cars, and I'm kind of sticking to that as a sort of like house rule as much as I can. And I think the handling is better. The cars feel a little less squirrely, like under low grip scenarios. Like maybe that's because I haven't had a great deal of rain in my playthrough yet, but that
probably also depends on the car and the power.
Yeah.
Because there's definitely, like, as soon as you have an extremely high-powered rear-wheel drive car, it's like you have to actually limit your throttle quite a bit.
You got to be pretty careful. Yeah.
Oh, nice. That's good.
Yeah. I mean, that's always been in the games, but like you know, the throttle control and especially if you've got the assists down or off, that's always been a part of Horizon. But like
can't put this game on the Switch.
Right. Yeah. You definitely need the analog. It's I so far it's felt better to me to actually drive. Like I haven't had some of those moments I've talked about before where I felt like the game has fought me. Well, I want to turn in here, and the game has gone, no, you want to do a little bit of turn in because I don't think that's right for your car right now. Even though I've got the steering mode set to simulation mode and stuff like that, I don't feel like it's fighting me as much as the previous games have. So whatever was causing that, kudos to them so far, because that's felt good thus far. I think the drifting feels better. I've always historically sucked at doing drifts in these games, and I'm not finding it anywhere near as difficult to do good drifting in this game.
They must have worked on that, right?
Yeah, as you might expect.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like
it's still pretty tricky, but like it's not as tricky.
Well, I feel like I can get round a corner with a bit of e-brake and it works, but like if you try and do like a drift event where they score you, I can never reach the score target.
Yeah,
it's like getting the actual drifts that they want is much harder.
It is. Yeah, I think I need to experiment more, because one of the things I don't think I've played, or even in any of the previous games, I don't think I've ever gone to like one of the drift zones that they had on the thing whilst driving a car that was geared up for drift.
I haven't made an actual drift car yet.
I was in the process of making a drift car before I realised I was doing it to a front-wheel drive car, and that was a stupid idea. So I undid that. I'll wait till I get a more suitable drift car. I could have just changed that car to rear-wheel drive, I suppose. You can do that in some cars. Anyway. Yes, but so far, it just like if you get into a drift in a regular race, like not even if you're trying a drift event, like that has felt more easily controllable than it has done in previous games. A little bit less sort of snappy, especially when you're trying to like regain control, or a little less spinny, I should say. It was very easy in the other in previous Horizon games to, once you get into a slide, to just kind of keep going.
I mean, that's a rear-wheel drive thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, as soon as you try and accelerate out of it, it actually makes it worse.
Yeah, exactly. But they became like it was very hard to catch, I thought, in the previous game. Or at least I've always sucked at it. And I suck less at it now, so far in this. What else do I like? As I mentioned, the soundtrack choices. The soundtrack choices are pretty cool. Like, I like there's plenty of songs on there that I've actually already familiar with, thanks to Spotify. Callback. A lot of the stuff in the soundtrack are things that Spotify has actually recommended to me in recent months. So it's like, oh, I know this one. Oh, I know this one. If you put it on the Japanese radio station, there's a few anime themes I've noticed on there. Like the end credit song from the first season of Dan Da Dan is is in there. The band that does the opening sequence for Dan Da Dan is in the soundtrack as well. Creepy Nuts. What a great name for a band. Creepy Nuts. I'm enjoying the soundtrack. Soundtrack's pretty good so far. It's just a shame it's leveled so weirdly. I think the handling's real nice. I think that I like the new event types they've added. I like the time attacky stuff. I generally have thought the racing has felt pretty good as well. Pretty like I haven't got to the point where I feel like the AI has felt unfairly advantaged over me. Like, I don't know what difficulty you're playing in. I'm playing in highly skilled, which is normally
highly skilled.
That's kind of the borderline for me. Like, if you go one level up, then it starts to feel unfair.
Well, the problem that I have with it is that, like, I know to some extent it's literally just because I'm better at some things than others, but like on highly skilled is like, if I'm in a Rallycross-esque stage in my Lancer, I will destroy them by 10 seconds. But in every other class,
right,
even straight off-road, I can barely win.
Right.
It's like there's some kind of disconnect there. Obviously, I'm better at that kind of driving in general, but even so, 10 seconds is quite a big gap.
So weirdly for me, my weak point, I think, is the street racing events. Like, I seem to always, like, if I'm going to win those, it's like, it's marginal.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, the cross-country races, I'm usually way ahead. Or the rally events in particular, way ahead.
And the other problem with it, which is just a general AI problem, is that just like they aren't actually that smart still.
No.
And a lot of the time you're just beating them because of cheese, where it's just like the AI will racing line drive an S-bend where they take it as 2 corners and you can just burn straight across the apexes and just outspeed them.
Yeah, blitz through the middle.
And it's like technically that's you winning because you're better at driving, but it's also because the AI is dumb at driving.
Yeah, there's definitely bits of that.
Does it still have driver tars?
They still call them driver tars. Whether or not they're learning from
Sure.
your driving style anymore, I highly doubt.
Right.
It's they still call them that, and they still like put like, hey, I'm driving against Zach. I'm not really driving against Zach, but like his car will be on the track, and I do think that's kind of cool. Like, because obviously I was talking to Zach about an event earlier where it was like a rally event, and it's like, and of course there you were. Oh, of course you were in a Mitsubishi Evo, and of course you had the classic Marlboro livery on it.
I mean,
and it's
kind
like,
of wasn't even expecting it to actually pull my livery. Which
yeah,
is nice.
they've done this for several games where it just it pulls what. If you've got a car in that class, even if you haven't done that event, like it's going to pull your car that you own in to do that race with you, with whatever you've styled it with,
sure.
Which is always cool because it's like it's a way of seeing what you're up to, like sneakily, being like, oh yeah, you're driving that, oh yeah.
Well, except for the ones where it is just pulling something out of your garage that you might not have ever actually driven.
Sure, yeah. But you can tell because the ones you put liveries on.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
Those ones are fairly obvious.
Or body kits or something wild on it, like, or something like that. So like you're kind of right. The AI feels capable, but like again, this has been a problem for a little while. They feel that I like AIs that make you feel like they're human, as in they make mistakes.
Well, I have seen quite a lot of AI mistakes
it's
going
happened.
on.
Yeah, it's happened, but it doesn't feel quite as natural as like real human crashes. I don't know. There's something about them where it's just like, or the way that they tend to very neatly line up
behind each other. Which is kind of like how racing works, but not how you want it to
look. they don't seem super aggressive for trying to overtake each other and then pull a ridiculous move on you.
Yeah.
Which seems kind of unfair at times. I haven't seen the AI really battling each other.
No.
Which definitely reduces the excitement of the racing. And again, not a new problem. That's kind of been a thing in Forza for a while. I mean, you can still French people. You can still do that.
I mean, kind of.
It's not as effective as it was back in like Forza 2. Back in those days.
I mean, my problem with the AI like cutting you off on the inside is just it's because I brake too early, but then if I'm not getting cut up on the inside by AI, my braking early actually works better than what they're doing anyway. So it's like I come out of the corner better.
Yeah, it's like I've got a better line, but like they've actually cocked it up by putting themselves there.
Except they haven't cocked it up for AI powers.
Yeah.
They managed to make it work for them.
Yeah, as I said, it hasn't felt like they've had like those AI superpowers for me just yet with the handling. But like,
it's in the times when it becomes if this is what's actually happening, but like because it could just be tuning, I guess. But once you have maxed out your car to like exactly 700 or whatever in A class, and you're racing against another car that's also classed as 700, but they just burn straight past you, it's like, is that just tuning, or are they getting some AI cheese?
Or if they upgraded their car like for power, but because the AI is driving it, they don't suffer from any of the sort of handling weirdness they may have sacrificed to put that power in their car.
That kind of. It's impossible to tell.
Yeah. Well, you say it's impossible to tell, but it's pretty much a known fact that, like, at the higher difficulty levels, the physics skew in their favour.
Right.
Like, they do start to cheat at a certain point. which is a shame.
And I've only played like one online race ever.
Oh, have you? How did that go?
Well, it was for the festival. They make you do like a little mini championship. So I guess it was free races technically. But I deliberately chose like a lower class car because I think it just match makes you into whatever class of car you choose, which is nice at least. But it was funny because I was using the MR2 that I'd spec'd out to the top of like C or whatever, so it was quite low ranked. But then it was in a race when like everyone else was just like in focuses and shit. So it was like you look at the scoreboard and it's like my one has like 95 because it's an MR2, and then everyone else is like the 01 Focus.
Right, yeah.
But then I did manage to win one, and it won of the three. Not quite win the whole championship because I cocked up the second race and came like fifth or whatever. But it was pretty funny to be like, wow, I managed to pull that off in the old car.
Yeah,
the comparatively old car.
Well, I will try and engage with online a little bit again, like eventually. But because I tried it a little bit in Forza Horizon 5 and generally just didn't have a particularly fun time with it.
Well, I mean, the problem is that like as you know, well. The problem is Frenching. The problem is that when people are actually deliberately, intentionally hitting you and stuff in order to win, it gets less fun.
Yeah.
But when everyone's in this early game period of just dicking around and having a laugh, the racing isn't as serious.
Yeah.
People aren't trying to take you out. Because I have seen, like...
If I could make, like, an incredibly tight circuit race, like, in the back roads of Tokyo and the little alleyways in tuk-tuks or K-cars, that would be great.
I'm sure you could almost get there just by picking a D-class car and having it put you in with a bunch of other people who are trying to do that.
I mean, that used to be one of my... back in the days where we actually did used to play, like, Forza 1 and 2... No, it was probably 2. Forza 2, I think. Motorsport 2, with a bunch of people. Mini racing on one of the infield tracks.
Yeah.
It was one of the best things to do. It was great.
Yeah, I've definitely seen like some footage of people being right bastards. Because although it's not even like the classic Frenching maneuver, it's just like bumping people on the straight so they just miss a checkpoint.
Oh, that sucks.
Oh no, that's the worst.
That's pretty funny. It's pretty funny though. Yeah, because this game has absolutely no attempt at a fair racing policy.
Well, it kind of does. Like, certain impacts will penalise you, or ghost one of the cars to just like remove that impact entirely. Basically,
I've seen that with like F1 games and like as well, where like any kind of collision puts both cars into ghost.
And it also has I think, too harsh policy on hitting walls. Like, I know you're not meant to like use the wall in the classic way, but there's a limit to how hard you can hit it. But once you go over that limit, it just like puts you in first gear for 2 seconds, basically.
Oh, really?
It just slows you right down.
Huh.
And ghosts you so
in case there's an exploit,
well, yeah, I guess,
or you block the track,
maybe. Although then it should ghost the other way, I think. If you're coming up on a car that's essentially stopped, you just ghost through it. It just pops up a thing like high speed collision detectors, and it just ignores it essentially.
I know what they're trying to do, but it never feels.
No,
it never feels quite right with racing games. I don't know.
That's where you have to bring back kudos or whatever. You have to have a point system on top of the racing part that penalises you from hitting shit.
And is smart enough to know when you've been hit, not when you're hitting, which is often the problem.
Yeah.
You need some racing stewards.
Yep.
Maybe
have a post-race 5 minutes where everyone sits around and looks at the footage to analyse who was a bastard.
But maybe this is actually a genuinely good use for AI.
Maybe.
Race stewards.
And I have had one major glitch.
Oh, really?
And it was in a story segment as well, which made it more obvious because the camera spent a lot more time looking at the cars, where like half of their tyres were randomly off-centered or like half into the bodywork. It was like, well, that's fucked.
I do want to point out like why they keep thinking that having human models in a lot of their cutscenes is a good idea.
The human models are so bad.
They're so bad.
And it's the first thing you see, basically. It's like before you even get to the cars, it's like, oh, look, let's make your character.
Oh, and they look awful. Like, and that cutscene where May is like talking to you, and you meet Jordan, and they're like showing, and then you eventually get to pick one of your
Starter. Yes.
Well, which you don't actually get to pick because you get them all.
Yeah.
But you get to pick the first one you're going to drive. Like, and you see some close-ups of like you and Jordan's face in particular, and you're like almost Funko Pop dead-eyed.
Yep.
Like, is just, I don't know. Like, they can make the rest of this world look incredible. But they never put the budget into these human guys that they for some reason thought was a good idea.
And you would think at this point it would just be like, go into Microsoft's internal assets store or whatever and pull a human model. Anything would be better than what they've got at the moment.
I mean, if they were using Unreal Engine, they could use MetaHuman, right, and be done with it, and it would be fine.
And also, speaking of that first cutscene where you're meeting up with your friends or whatever, like, the like recording quality of the voices is kind of bad, but only
is it? I didn't notice.
But only because they're outside of a car. Like, if they were talking through the radio into your ear in that situation, it would sound fine. But because they're meant to be standing outside in the parking lot or whatever, this does not sound right.
Yeah, I get your point. Everything sounds like it's studio recorded.
Yes.
Even doesn't matter where it is. They all sound like on a mic.
Yes.
Like it's it's not. That, again, not a new problem.
Which would be another reason to not have human models. Have everyone always be in the cars and you never see them outside the cars or through the windows of the cars.
Yeah. Maybe I'm doing things slightly out of order, but I noticed a quirk with the sort of progression and the friends, shall we say, part of the progression system, where it's like I'd got into missions where like the characters obviously talking to each other, and then a new character pops up with no introduction,
that other dude,
and just sort of talks, and you're like, and I'm like, well, I recognise that guy because he was in previous Forza games.
Oh right, okay.
Specifically, Drift Club UK's Robert.
Yes.
He just suddenly turns up and starts talking, and I'm like, wait a minute, have we met?
No,
no, we haven't. Or Yuji, right, the Barnfied guy.
Well,
like, he wasn't introduced to me. He just sort of turns up, and we're like talking to him like he's like a guy we know.
I mean, he's
like,
right there in the first race, right? Once you've driven your car into Tokyo, and he's made that specially set up car for you to drive in that first race.
He's the
that
RS2 guy.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I missed that.
But obviously you might not have noticed that because you wouldn't have recognised that he was an important person to pay attention to at the time.
I completely missed that. Yeah. Okay, fair enough. That one's okay.
Yeah.
That one's okay.
And the same applies to whatever her name is, the Legend Woman, because she keeps turning up in various other places.
Legend. You mean the race director lady?
No, not the director. The I guess she is
the Irish lady.
No, I guess she's Japanese as well.
Oh, okay.
But she's like the current legend of Forza or whatever.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. No, I know who you mean.
And she wears a football jersey that says "Legend" on the back when she's out of the car. But she turns up in several other places. Like, she'll turn up in a day trip occasionally, or whatever. It's like, who are you again? Oh, right, you're the Legend Woman.
just hanging out.
Who we are presumably going to fight at the end.
At least Drift Club guy, Japanese Drift Club guy, got a proper intro.
Sure.
Yeah, there's some strange stuff that doesn't seem entirely polished. With that side of it, which is fine, I guess, because it's the part of the game I don't care about and wish wasn't there.
Yep. We need less humans.
Yeah. It's a... Yeah.
And
so it's a very one of our reviews, but like,
yes,
I am having a really good time with it. Like, I should be said, like I'm having a better time with it than having a better time with it than I did 4 and 5.
Okay.
I warmed to 4 eventually as being a really good one. I didn't like 5 was fine, but I didn't really get on its level. I didn't.
Yeah.
Mexico didn't do it for me as one thing, and I found the chatter to be much worse than it's been in any other Forza game.
Okay, so it's good that's.
It's so far. It's all of that stuff. It's still there, and again, why would they change the formula? Right, this is Microsoft's best-selling franchise at the moment. So why would they change this stuff? But it's still there, but it's less annoying. And obviously Japan is just an incredibly nice place to set this game. Like, it is really good. Like, I think that they've created a slight problem for themselves because Tokyo is bigger. Absolutely, it's way bigger than the cities we've had to drive through. I think it's nice. Like the Shibuya crossing in particular, it's like really recognizable as this is where you are. Like a really nice representation of Tokyo. Of course, I still wish it was bigger.
Yeah,
I still wish it was
feels
more
tiny.
I still wish it was more bustling. And I think it's had the side effect where I don't feel like I haven't explored the whole map yet, but I'm looking at the map going, are there any other settlements in this area at all? Is it just Tokyo and nothing else? Because like at least there's been a hint in previous games of like there's a town here and there'll be a little village maybe somewhere, like maybe only a couple roads, but there will be at least the semblance of like there's
no villages.
There's civilization elsewhere.
I mean, I think there are some kinds of villages, although I think obviously there's not really any way to do it on this scaling, but it's completely missing mid-size. There's nothing
Right.
mid-size. It's either village or Tokyo.
Yeah,
that's fine.
yeah, exactly.
I think it's a bit weird because it's like the more realistic these things get, the more it stands out that like this is the kind of city you have to make for this kind of driving game. It obviously doesn't have all the people to not that would be a problem, the running over people thing, but back in the day that didn't really matter because like the technology couldn't do huge crowds anyway, so it didn't matter.
Yeah.
But now it's like, well, if you want that kind of, you probably have to wait for Grand Theft Auto 6.
Yeah, there's an element of like, and I kind of agree with John Linneman from DF, who like in his thing where he showed a brief bit of footage from Project Gotham 3, right, which obviously had some Tokyo stages in it. And because they're closed circuits in Project Gotham 3, they could put a crowd outside the circuit, and it kind of perhaps gives a better vibe of what Tokyo's actually is like.
To have like a crowd of cutouts, right?
Yeah, weirdly, it sort of almost feels more like Tokyo, even though the fidelity isn't as high.
Yeah,
and my mind then goes back to Metropolis Street Racer, which has, well, neither, like it's got both of those problems, in that it's like it doesn't have any bustling of any kind. There's no crowd, and and there's no traffic of any kind, and but it does still look like Tokyo. Like it's like MSR is almost in the same spot as Forza Horizon 6 is for that.
Weirdly.
In a strange
it's probably
way.
the same devs, isn't it?
Well, maybe, yeah, they might have hired some of Bizarre Creations by now at Playground. Yeah, it's just I really like the setting. I like the styling of the menus is more vibrant and more interesting. But the menus are still quite complicated, but they're not quite as complicated as they have been in the past.
I mean, it can be kind of annoying to navigate. Like, well, I find it's one of those classic UI problems of like, where does the cursor go when you move between a stack of 4 boxes and one big box or whatever? And it's like I keep not going down the pile. It's on that second screen where you're like, here's the barn find and the treasured cars and the photo mode, and they're all stacked on top of each other, but they're next to a single cube, and it's like, where does the cursor go when I'm trying to pan through these things? I keep hitting it wrong.
So one thing, like thinking about the voiceover stuff again, like one thing I've noticed they haven't done this time that was all over the place in the Mexico one is they haven't done that thing where they've tried to just inject Japanese words into the middle of an English sentence. Like, is that just something that media thinks is more natural with Spanish, to just throw a bit of Spanish into it?
I mean, there's been a few cases of them just saying a bit of Japanese, but not like mid-sentence. It's more like they just say a single Japanese phrase and then just continue a conversation in English.
Right, yeah.
I feel like on the Mexican border, there is a lot of mixing of English and Spanish.
Is that actually a thing? Or they just sort of
so.
say it mid-sentence and like go...
Yeah, code switching is called, isn't it? It's just there's a lot of people there that know both languages.
Okay, I kind of thought that was like a TV and media thing where it's mostly English, apart from like one word like pendejo or something. Just throw it in there. Like...
I'm not sure. It probably is exaggerated in some media, but I think it is a real thing.
Okay, fair enough. Maybe I'll take that back a bit.
But yeah. I don't know.
And there was one more.
They were definitely using it for effect, right? In Forza 5,
sure.
Made by a bunch of English people.
Yeah.
There was one more thing I wanted to mention about the Japan part of Japan, I guess, which is like, they give you, in your journal thing, it's like, oh, take photos of shit. But there's not nearly enough of those, and I keep finding things that look cool, and I'm like, oh, take a photo of that. Surely that's going to be in the journal. Nope. Like, there's only actually like 20 things you need to take a photo of, but there's way more cool-looking things that they've made.
Right, I haven't tried any of that yet, because I don't really know what it wants me to take a photo of. Like, okay, it's got one that says take a photo of the festival site. I haven't even done that yet. Like, it's but the other side of it, it just says take pictures of interest, and I'm like, okay, what do you mean by that?
Well,
like,
I mean, they are named in the list, so you can just look.
Oh,
at
there
the
is a list. Okay.
As long as you know what the names even mean, of course, because some of them are just like, this is probably a famous thing in Japan that I don't know.
Right.
Take a photo of Tokyo Tower. That's fair enough.
Okay, yeah, I should have guessed that one.
Take a photo of the famous shrine, I guess, the one with the lake.
Okay, yeah, I've been there, but I haven't taken a photo. Yeah, because before those were like beauty spots, they called them.
Right, they'd be marked.
You just rocked up and pushed X,
yeah,
and got a cutaway, and maybe a little description about what you're looking at, and your guide flossing on top of it.
Definitely. But yeah, it feels like there's a lot more cool-looking things that they don't require you to take a photo of, and I keep getting fooled by it every time. It's like, oh, surely this has got to be one of them, but it's not. And of course, there's the ridiculous goal of take a photo of every goddamn car.
Sure, which is, again, not new, but yeah, a pain in the arse, because you start a race and then you notice all the photos, and you're like, okay, well, I'm going to stop the start of this race.
Yeah, I've never actually done that. I've never actually committed to doing that kind of situation.
Yeah, I do.
I just take photos of the car that I'm currently driving, and that's it.
Right. No, I do. I see the icons above at the start of a race. It says 3, 2, 1, go, and I'm like 3, 2, 1, photo, and stop. Like, which is again a bit of a buzzkill, but it's the best way to get because all the cars are right there in one place. You just take one photo of them all, and
but then that sucks for the encyclopedia. I want the photo of each individual car to look cool, or at least have only one car in it.
I think the encyclopedia part is new. Like, sure. I don't think it saved those photos before.
Oh, right.
It's not like the Zelda catalog, right? Like where you try and be like, oh no, that last picture was rubbish. I can take another one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've definitely been doing that.
I think that's new to this one,
which I have occasionally found annoying. Where it's like I line up and take a nice photo of whatever car I'm driving or whatever, and then you take the photo and it pops up the thing that says this is a photo of this car, but then it's also like, and this is a photo of this car, and I'm like, wait, what? Hang on, there's another car in this shot somewhere. Better go and find it so I can take a better photo.
Is it ray traced in the car's body? Like, are you getting a reflection bonus?
And then it's like, go and find that car so I can take an actual photo of that car, so it's not just like in the encyclopedia, it's this weird pixelated dot in the background of a photo of this other car. Not that it matters.
No
one's ever going to see those. I don't think you can share them or anything. That would be cool.
You can if you don't don't use the quick shot.
I mean, as an individual picture, yes, but I meant from the encyclopedia. Maybe you can reload that picture out of the encyclopedia.
I don't think that's ever been a thing. Well, the encyclopedia is new, so I don't know. It definitely wouldn't have been a thing. So
I presume it's not really. I presume the encyclopedia pictures are just like thumbnails. It's not saving the full res version of that photo.
Yeah,
it probably just generates a thumbnail and dumps it in there.
Yeah, probably. We don't know,
because that's the same as Zelda, obviously.
Hmm.
The thumbnails that you get in the encyclopedia are real low res in that game.
Yeah, like lower res than the actual Switch running res. Yep. Somehow. It's a pretty good game, but it has
problems that they still haven't fixed.
Don't go into it thinking this is a seismic shift. I think it is a very subtle nod in the right direction, and Japan helps a lot.
Yeah, makes sense. I'm looking forward to playing it in non-ray traced, I guess, when it finally comes out on PlayStation.
Mm.
Or whatever. Unless I get it on the Steam machine, but that won't be ray traced either. I don't think that's going to manage that.
Probably not. No, I don't think they have the full GI ray traced look turned on the Xbox version.
Right.
Even the Series X version, I don't think they're using the full ray trace suite. Well, they're definitely not using reflections, not to the extent that I can do, but not if you want it to run at 60. I think maybe if you run it at 30, you get some of it.
PC Master Race, rejoice!
Yeah, and it's a really good running game. And yes, I've got nearly cutting edge hardware on this, but it's a 5070, not a 5090, right? Like it still runs well.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah,
Sweet. Well, that's the big game.
be playing
The
this
big
for a
game.
while, I think.
Yeah. I'll talk about it more next time, I'm sure.
I don't know, maybe. We might have just covered everything, yeah.
Or we might have just done everything.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, next time we've got not E3, so
Yeah, there'll be plenty to do there.
there'll be plenty to talk about. So join us in a couple of weeks for that.
Oh, going to skip my other game.
Oh no!
Well, we
you
haven't
had
even
another
done
game.
we haven't even done your section yet. Like that was just me, technically.
Yeah,
Oh, I thought that was it. I thought it was Zach.
Well, there's not much to
Rob.
say, at least.
What's your other game?
Well, I have to briefly talk about Endfiled again.
Oh.
Because you wouldn't have thought so, because it's the middle of the patch cycle, but they've decided to add another segment to the map in the middle of the patching cycle, which you can easily read as the cynical way of being like they held back content in order to increase player retention by not having everyone play the entire content and then disappear for 6 weeks.
Right.
But yeah, they added a new segment of map in like week 3 to 4 of this 6-week normal patch cycle. And it's a kind of weird, it feels like a side area, like it has a story to it, but it doesn't feel like it's continuing from the main story, even though if you've got to this point, I don't think you can access it if you haven't got to the end of the current main story, which is kind of weird because it feels like a side story, even though it chronologically seems to continue on from the main story. But yeah, it's just a new map area to get some more resources in, upgrade your factories. Although it does do a very weird thing of like, once you've got through the area and like unlocked the, checkpoints or whatever, I guess, or it's sort of, it has some moving elements to it, I guess, as you open up this old facility or whatever. But when you get to the end and the person you've been guiding through it is like, oh, this is going to be great for my research project because now I can use these facilities that we've booted back up essentially. And their research project is like a sewage treatment plant, basically. But like, it's a sewage treatment plant because in the factories in this map segment, your sewage is a thing that is part of your industrial process, basically. Okay. Like, sometimes it's a waste product that just comes out, and sometimes you can reuse it for other steps, like recycle it. So sewage is already a thing, and in this facility, after you've completed the story kind of element of it, there's just like a couple of big pools of sewage that you need to clean up to like open up an explorable area, essentially.
Oh, okay.
So she's like, oh, we make this sewage facility, and then you're like, oh, well, that's convenient because the pools of sewage are up here, so I can just pipe it down here and route it into this sewage treatment facility, and that will get rid of it. And it's okay, that makes kind of sense, except it kind of doesn't make sense because these are like fixed position objects, rather than the way you've been treating sewage up to this point is you have just a factory building. And because you can place that in the open world, you can just attach a pump directly to it wherever.
Right.
So technically you could clean up these sewage pools without this new sewage treatment facility. It would just be a lot slower because this facility is like much higher capacity, so you can route like multiple pumps worth of sewage through it. So it seems kind of weird in that way. But then like, if you talk to her, you can pay money to upgrade it to like open more ports, so you can route even more sewage into it quicker and empty those pools even faster. But the last tier of that upgrade gives it an output port where it puts out like a recycled product as well. But this facility is not anywhere near any of your factories. So it's like, what the fuck are you meant to do with this?
Right.
You can't take it anywhere to do anything with it, so it just outputs a product that you can't actually use in any way.
Okay.
And I'm not sure why. I mean, technically you could, if you were willing to spend a lot of time, build an entire pipe network from that point to your nearest actual factory, and then, like, connect it into your system that way. But that's, like, a long way away. Way too far for that effort to be worth the payoff, I would say.
Is it padding until the next content comes out?
I mean,
Build a pipeline.
It just doesn't seem worth the effort in either case. Like, the amount of sewage your factory puts out that you need to treat is not enough to make it worthwhile to bring it here to treat it faster, and the byproduct you get back is not worth enough to drag it all the way back to your factory to reprocess it for the amount you get back out of that. And
I mean, maybe it becomes a point where it's like the throughput is okay, like rather than the delay. Is it one of those things? Is the latency of the process not so much?
No, not really, because once you've started everything up, it just settles like quite quickly. Because it was weird because, like, as I started unlocking this sewage treatment plant, I was like, okay, so you can use it to drain these sewage pools, And then once you unlock the return valve for the recycle, I was like, so surely this area must have a new factory zone in it, right? Because then that would be convenient. This would be quite nearby to this new factory zone, and we can build all the things that use sewage in this area in this new factory zone, but it doesn't. Right. I was like, okay, that's just weird. And it's even more inconvenient because one of the main processes that makes sewage uses another fluid in a previous step of the fluid that only appears in one of the maps, and it's the map that is basically as far away as possible from this map. So even if you wanted to treat all the sewage you're making on that map, it's the maximally distant long pipeline you'd have to build to even do it. Huh. It's just like, this doesn't make any sense. Don't know why they did that. Unless there's going to be another map segment that is adjacent to this one that will have a factory in. And it'll be just like, oh, you just jump it over to the sewage treatment plant next door.
It's kind of interesting. So the game lets you actually build the pipelines outside of the building area?
Yes, because things like pumps and stuff can just be in the... It's basically... I think pipelines are slightly special, but when you have buildings, they only have conveyor attachment points if they're inside the zone. So buildings that only use fluids still have fluid attachment points. So you can use like pumps to pull water out, because they use it for, there's a specific type of mining rig that uses water instead of power. So you have to build a pump and then run a pipe to the mining sites, and those are obviously out in the open world. So that system runs independently, and there's also the puzzle element of it, like, here's a big pool of water, but there's something at the bottom, so build a pump and vent all the water out into a different pool using your factory buildings. So they do that a few different times throughout the open world. But yeah, you can then essentially run pipelines across the entire world if you want to, and they also have basically underground pipelines where it's a building that you then connect to another building, but like non-physically. You just have to run between those 2 points, and now it's mysteriously connected by an underground pipe somehow. So you can actually use those to cross the world a lot easier rather than the right-angled pipe system that you use within the factory context. But it's still way too far to make that worthwhile.
Right, yeah.
So what's up with that?
Do the pipes just like turn up then as you're traversing the world like normally? Then like you just like if you had built one of these massive pipes. I mean, yeah, like, you'd just be wandering around having a fight, and there'd just be a pipe in the background.
Yes, it would just be there. I mean, I do have there's one case of that where it has happened that I have to build the pipe from a water source to a little patch of minerals. It goes through a place where a big enemy spawns. So every time I need to go up there for any reason, it's like, oh, there's this pipe slightly in the way of my fight. Not really, though, because the pipes are raised. So like they're above your head anyway, so they don't really obstruct you in any way.
I thought of that.
They might just clip the camera a little bit occasionally.
Yeah.
And they've announced that the next big patch, which is presumably only about a week away, is going to have 2 new characters again. Or, well, 1 new character, and then 3 weeks later the second new character. So get ready to spend your cash again. Because I've been indecisive about going into the re-roll, the rerun that they've done. Because they've basically, this last 3-week segment hasn't been a new character, it's been 2 of the previously specific characters, but brought back in.
Right.
And I did miss one of those the first time, and I was like, maybe I could get that, or do I keep saving away for these new future characters that I didn't even know were going to come yet, but obviously they were going to. But the thing is that the rerun of these characters somehow manages to have even worse percentages than the regular ones.
Oh.
It's like, technically it's not worse, but it functionally is worse, because it has the same like 0.8% chance of getting the 6-star or whatever on default, and that's, the same. But the trouble is that in the normal, when you're rolling for one of the specific characters normally, you have the mercy rule at like 120 where you just get them. And then at 60, there's the like 50-50 where you're guaranteed to get a 6-star character, but it's 50% chance of being the one that you're looking for, the main one, and then 50% chance of
the rest of the pool.
The rest of the pool, but not like all of them. It's like the 5 default 6-stars plus the 2 previous major character ones.
Right.
So it's like, it's a limited pool.
The last run. 2 of the last run.
Yes, 2 of the last run, essentially. So you have that 50% chance at 60 and then the guarantee at 100. But in this rerun pool, when you hit the I think they've moved up to 80, which already makes it worse, because it's not even halfway through this rolling process to 120. But at 80, when you get the 50-50, it's not a 50-50, it's a 25% because there's 4 characters. So if you are only looking to get one of those, the 50-50 has now become just a 25% chance of getting the one you actually want. Which really sucks. So I'm like, maybe I won't do that then. Because it's like, that's way less percentage chance of getting it early.
That actually happened, yeah.
But, you know, it's technically better because if you'd missed 2 of those characters, you'd have a 50% chance of getting one of those.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, new characters are coming. Weirdly, one character that it was obvious was going to happen because it's like this character has been in the story and hasn't been a character yet.
Right, yeah, classic.
But then there was also another character they added in the last patch who, at the end of this part of the story, is currently in a coma, but that doesn't mean anything. They're probably going to wake up in a minute.
Of course.
And I was like, okay, so that's surely going to be the next new character. But it's not. It's another completely new guy who isn't even in the story yet.
An unknown.
So maybe this person in a coma is going to stay in a coma after all.
Yeah. The permanent coma guy.
Probably not permanent, though, because there's too much... It's like the classic situation of, like, they've put too much character design work into this character for it to not be a character.
Yeah. The clothes are too intricate.
And they have a cool weapon, which is, like, really obviously going to become their actual weapon.
Gotta be used. Or maybe they'll pull a switcheroo and be like, someone else will be like, well, I'm just going to use this guy's weapon. Like, while he's in a coma, I'll take his place.
Yeah, maybe it will be that new guy.
Yeah.
Although, weirdly, the other side of that argument I've seen in a couple of people talking about the game is, like, I think this is sort of a more common thing in maybe the other gachas, but they keep saying, like, they're expecting the bad guys to become playable characters at some point. Like, they're going to be redeemed or whatever. But, like, the last major boss fight of this segment where you're fighting one of the big bad guys, she looks pretty dead at the end of that. I don't think she's going to become a character.
It's fine, she's just in a coma.
I mean,
She'll go lie next to the other guy.
There definitely is a way that she can come back to life.
Okay. Well, yeah, because you talk about
not that way. Okay. There's another also way that she could come back to life.
Okay.
But yes, everyone could technically be a clone. You could technically have this woman in a coma still be playable, even though she's not dead yet.
Yeah, you can just clone her.
Even though I'm not sure what the law implications of that is. I don't know how they manage having the potential of having multiple clones of the same person happen
at the same time.
Yeah,
right.
I'm sure it doesn't actually work like that. It's probably like they explicitly don't allow that to happen somehow.
It's illegal. And the bad guys, for some reason, respect the law.
Or because you're made of the Originium stuff when you're a clone, it's like if another clone gets spawned, you just disintegrate. So like, there's never allowed to be more than one at a time because of the like information stored in them or whatever.
I mean, that would be a fun way. Well, not a fun way. It would be a particularly mean way to kill off your adversaries, like
temporarily.
Yeah. Well,
legend rule.
Yeah, but the new clone. Wait, do the new clones remember their past or anything?
Yes, pretty much.
Oh, okay.
Well, maybe
but
not.
Then you have them in captivity.
Yeah,
like,
sure.
You clone them into a cage.
Into a prison.
Yeah. And then you just wait for that one to die.
I wonder what happens when they die of natural causes.
Yeah, do they
then get a clone again?
I guess someone could clone them, right?
Yeah, maybe.
As long as you had some DNA or whatever, whatever source it requires.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to require anything. It's just like their information has to have made its way into the weird Originium storage world.
So it's AI powered.
Yeah, I guess. They get scanned at some point. It's hostile waters. Put them in a brain chip. Anyway, that was Endfiled. That's the weird mid-season expansion to Endfiled before the actual season. Which presumably we might end up talking about next time. I'm not entirely sure when this patch is due, but it's pretty soon. And I will be kind of... I know this next section is not going to leave the second map, but I'm kind of, increasingly wanting to get out of the second map. In fact, when you walk into this new zone and you're going around it for the first time, and the people are commenting on how amazing and beautiful it is all the time, I'm starting to feel a bit of propaganda going on here. Because obviously this is Space China in a Chinese game. And I'm like, I think you're laying it on a bit thick at this point. We've walked to too many places that people have immediately pointed out how amazing and beautiful it is.
Oh, man. That reminds me, something else I played, but like I'm not going to talk about it like super heavily. I tried playing Star Fox 64 3D
Right.
on my 3DS. My cartridge is effed.
Yeah.
Like I put the cartridge in the device and it just short circuits and turns off.
Okay.
So that's a problem. So I tried emulating it in Azaha on PC. Like, this is my first time playing with like a 3DS emulator. Apparently, like most like Star Fox 64 3D had a bunch of emulation problems, like that made it actually like kind of tricky for some reason. Like for instance, Aquath used to render upside down, which is kind of a funny bug. Anyway, it's like mostly working now, like in the emulator, and it looks pretty good, but not 100% right. Some of the shadowing isn't correct and stuff like that. There's still problems with it, but it's not that bad. Anyway, it just reminded me of the bit in Aquas, which is supposed to be like this polluted area and stuff like that, and then like so earlier in the mission, Slippy goes like, "This is," or the Peppy sort of like goes on the radio like, "This is horrible," or something like that. And then like about a minute later, there's these old stone things you sort of see through the pollution, and Slippy just goes, "Whoa, it's beautiful," and it's like, "No, it's not. It's like effed up by pollution, mate. Like, focus."
Yeah, technically the bit of this map that we have just been told is beautiful is technically also a sewage treatment plant at the end.
Right. Look at this.
I mean, only that
beautiful industrialism.
Only that little bit of it is there's a whole like giant green tree and stuff going on, so that half of it is probably kind of nice looking.
We build for China.
I didn't mention this before, but like, if you were making a game in China that needed to like big up China, and you wanted to make Space China have a cool monument or whatever, think of two specific things about China: the ancient wonder of China and the modern wonder of China.
So the wall.
Yeah.
What's the modern wonder of China?
Okay.
Chow Yun Fat. Like,
no. The modern wonder of China is conveniently kind of just another wall. Three Gorges Dam.
Oh, right, okay, sure.
So in this map, there's basically at the back of the city...
The Great Dam.
Yeah, it's just a big dam, but then as it goes up into the hills, it just turns into a big wall. It's like you put the two classic Chinese things into one.
I mean, I'm kind of into that. That's all right.
Yeah. But yes, I'm like, can we be done with Space China at this point, please?
No.
Also, someone said this, and I don't know if this is fully true or whether this is just one of those classic, like, someone got told this at some point, but, like, supposedly in a lot of these gacha-type games that are made by Chinese companies, the Chinese area is the second area because 2 is, like, a good, lucky number in Chinese law or whatever. So they never start in Space China, they always go to Space China as the second area.
Oh, right. Interesting. I mean, that is kind of a bit of a game trope in general, right? Like, save your nicest area for level 2.
Well, I suppose, yeah. And it definitely is a lot nicer looking than the first map. Good old Valley 4. It's quite industrial, comparatively. Also, the final Japanese cliche is just a shit ton of jade, of course.
Oh, right.
Bunch of green. You gotta have the jade green everywhere.
I mean, I think a lot of David Diver might be Chinese. I'm not 100% certain. It's
I mean, you think it'd be Japanese.
I'm not sure it is. I think it's like
it's just that scene between them.
Yeah, I think that it's Asian developed at some point. I'm not going to commit to where it is exactly. I should have paid attention to the credits more, but hey, stuff happens during the credits, so I wasn't really paying attention to the names. Yeah, but that's that way developed as well, and there's plenty of jade to find at one point in the game. And the one of the, well, mild spoilers, but they're in the trailer, whatever. The Sea People civilization seems quite China coded.
Right. Yes, obviously Space China still has a shit ton of dragons. I mean, half the people are dragons as well, obviously, but or dragon-tailed. Jade just brings me back to classic Guild Wars 1 first expansion, the Jade Sea, which was their version of space, not Space China, medieval China, I guess. Although weirdly, like thinking back on that version of China in the Guild Wars universe also just had a giant slum city, so maybe they weren't quite so propaganda focused on that one.
Yeah, maybe not. Where's ArenaNet based?
I don't actually know, because it's NCSoft, right? Is that one of the Korean companies?
I mean, it would not surprise me.
But yeah, they had the Jade Sea, but they also had giant slum-ass city, which was also full of zombies, because it's Guild Wars.
What am I thinking of? Was ArenaNet a technology it leveraged, or was that just something they made?
I think ArenaNet is like the smaller company that then got bought into NCSoft or whatever.
Fair enough.
Anyway, that's the end of this podcast. Dan, do the outro.
Well, unless Dan's got any show or bad to do, he's been playing.
No, I've only been playing Grim Fandango.
Okay.
Okay. Right. China will grow larger. All right. Thank you for joining us. And we'll catch you in 2 weeks for not E3. Well, there'll be plenty to talk about, I'm sure.
Yeah, Summer Game Fest, I guess, is the term everyone umbrellas it with. Like, Kelia's won.
Yeah, I guess. But it's like, what is it? State of play and stuff like that.
Yeah, there'll be a PlayStation State of Play. The SGF will, like, Keighley himself will have a stage show. I mean, Microsoft will get involved. They normally do. Nintendo, all bets are off. Who knows what they're going to do? I think they were quite late last year, right?
Yeah,
they didn't really get involved with the SGF wave and then did something afterwards.
Although this time,
done with Star Fox, yes.
Yeah,
still feels like they've got the show up for making any stock market impact, as we discussed earlier.
Sure,
They need to show something that they're doing this year. That's not just Star Fox.
I didn't mention it in news, but yes, the investors are starting to worry because they haven't announced anything big coming.
It's a coming. And hopefully we'll get to talk about it next time if we're lucky.
If we're lucky, what might happen to us? More plumbing shenanigans.
Nintendo might not happen.
Nintendo might not happen.
Yeah, or all our taps will explode and kill us all. So, assuming that doesn't happen, we will catch you for another Saladcast in 2 weeks' time. So we'll see you then. Bye.
Sweat.